I welcome each one of you, that is the innovators, creators, and solution finders, along with entrepreneurs, as well as the industry personnel, as well as the many associations who have been with us to support us on the creative minds, innovative ideas, and sustainable solutions shaping the future, which is the symposium for today. And we are celebrating this on the World Innovation and Creation Day. Thank you so much for your presence here, and I thank each and everyone for your August presence, actually, because without you all, this could not have happened. This is Geeta Mallikarjunan, Vice President of ABWCI for the states of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, and I deem it an honor to be the Master of Ceremonies for the August gathering assembled today. Without further ado, I would like to state that I take this opportunity to express our gratitude to Knowledge Partners for their kind support and collaboration, that is International Startup Foundation, the Association of Lady Entrepreneurs of India, ALI, Ubuntu Consortium, and special thanks to our sponsors Business Mint, Fiora Designs LLP, Om Sai Andhra Paints, Sai Manga Digital, Asteria Aerospace Limited, Sai Sharan Technologies, and media partner My Startup TV. Last but not the least, I wish to thank actually Ms. Dr. Glory Sarupa, because the moment we asked her, without anything, when Kavita and myself we had gone to meet her, she said immediately yes, and that is really, we are grateful to her, without which this would not have been possible. So, NIMSME and we, that is ABWCI, are the co-organizers for this symposium today. Now, may I request the dignitaries of ABWCI, NIMSME, and ISF to please come forward and light the lamp of creativity and innovation, and to enlighten the paths to a sustainable, equitable, and thriving future. Before that, I also request Dr. Meenakshi Padmanabhan, who is a Guinness World Record holder, to please come and do the honors for the Vande Mataram that is happening.
Ajame vikalpam nirakarame niranandamanand advaita purnam param nir gunam nir vishesham nirikam parabrahma rupam ganesham bhajima parabrahma rupam ganesham bhajima parabrahma rupam ganesham bhajima Sarasi janab sodari shankari pahima Sarasi janab sodari shankari pahima Sarasi janab sodari Vardabhaya Karakamali Vardabhaya Karakamali Sharanagad Vatsale Vardabhaya Karakamali Sharanagad Vatsale Sarasi Janab Sodari Parandam Pratitite Pashupasha Vimochite Pannaga Varanayuti Naga Kanda Vipujita Abjapati Sadanandade Sampade Varaguru Guhajanani Madasamani Mahishasuramardani Mandagamani Mangala Varapradayini Sada Sijanava Sodari Shankari Pahima Sada Sijanava Sodari
call the dignitaries forward to light the lamp, please.
Shubham karoti kalyanam Arogyam Dana Sampada Shatru Buddhi Vinashaya Deepo Jyoti Namostute Shubham Karoti Kalyanam Arogyam Dana Sampada Shatru Buddhi Vinashaya Deepo Jyoti Namostute Shubham Karoti Kalyanam Arogyam Dana Sampada Shatru Buddhi Vinashaya Deepo Jyoti Namostute Deepo Jyoti Namostute Deepo Jyoti Namostute.
Thank you so much. I just want to say a few words about Dr. Meenakshi. She wears many hats, and she's also presently the honorary director for Indian Book of Records, and she's also with the PMO's office for cultural organizations. Thank you so much, and thank you for coming at such short notice. Thank you. I would like to invite now Mr. Parul Soni, founder ABWCI, and Mr. Kavita Rajesh, who is the president for the South Asian ABWCI. Please come onto the dais and invite the other dignitaries whom I will be inviting now onto the stage. I invite Dr. P. Raghuram, founder CEO, Usha Lakshmi Breast Cancer Foundation. Mr. J. Chaudhary, founder, International Startup Foundation. Srimati K. Ratnaprabha, IAS, retired, President, Ubuntu Consortium. Dr. S. Glory Swarupa, Director General, Nonsme. Srimati Ramadevi Kanaganti, President Ali. Dr. Radha Kishore, FICCI, Telangana, Executive Committee Member and Director, HC Robotics Private Limited. And Dr. Ambika Sharma, Chief Executive Officer, ABWCI. Mr. Ajit Ranganekar, Director General, Research and Innovation Circle of Hyderabad. I request Mr. Parul Soni, founder ABWCI, to give the welcome address.
So first of all, thank you so much to everyone, because it's a Sunday. You have come and you have spent time and you are investing time today on this great, investment which is on women. And I want to welcome each one of you, and my special thanks to everyone. चौधरी साहब, आपको भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आज आने के लिए. Thank you. And ma'am, thank you so much for not only giving the space and blessing us, giving us guidance and support. That's really, Ajit Saab, thank you so much for the help and support. Dr. Saab, to really, you have always been with us, from the work which we have done earlier. And ma'am, Ratna Prabha ma'am, the inspiration behind many things. We met in 2015, and, with all this work which is happening now worldwide, I can tell you that the contribution of ma'am has been great. So not only welcoming her today, but also thanking her for the whole, thought process, what we are. Ma'am, we have learned so much from you, how to create big networks. And, that's what the thing is. I attended the meeting with you in Vijayawada, and it was really good. Yes. And, special thanks, Kavita, to you, as we appointed her as the president of South Asia, and I can see the whole thinking of it, how it's going and spreading. So special thanks, really gratitude from me. And Ambika, thank you for doing all this great work. And Anandji, without you, nothing is possible, because you have been not only helping us in spreading our wings, but also giving us inspiration to go forward. This was a short notice when we did all this, and I'm not doing this welcome speech or anything in a way it should be formally, but I'm telling you that these are my pillars of strength, and And these are pillars who will take us from South India to global. So that's what I've always said, ma'am, that, from grassroots to capital. And from capital, I mean both the capital of the world and capital as finance as such. So that's it. And I'll tell you in few words, the journey of ABWCI. This journey has been that, in 2009, I was in US, attended some events and also met women entrepreneurs. From there, the whole inspiration came that we will one day create a global chamber of commerce for women, because different chambers are working and they are all led by men. This ABWCI is an inspiration that this is led by women, and all women of the world are basically bringing that kind of change. And we are world's largest network of women entrepreneurs globally. We are in 37 countries now, and each day we are adding new presidents and new countries as such. So bless us, help us, give us positive energy that one day we will be the biggest registry on this earth, and we will need your blessings, your support, all we will need, because what we are trying to do is with this positive energy, bringing that kind of thing. But South India is, I'm telling you, we started the whole journey also from Hyderabad, and ma'am, in your chairmanship, when you were the chief secretary, we did so much work in Karnataka. So with this inspiration, thank you, and really thank you from my core of my heart for coming today, because time, no money can buy. So thank you so much. I'm really, really, really blessed to have you all today. Thank you.
So can we have the keynote address by Mr. J.A. Chowdhury, founder, International Startup Foundation?
So thank you for inviting ISF for this very important conference, particularly women in business. The segment is actually increasing. I'm noticing a lot of startups run by women entrepreneurs these days. I think the wave is towards the business of women. As you rightly said, I think they have to get to the center stage at every level, in every sector of the industry. That's happening. One bad news or not a good news. Yesterday when I was going through one business newspaper, it's a business standard, it's a big article has come. This article says this year, 2024, 3 IT companies removed 64,000 employees. And in the same article, they talked about using the generative AI and other AI tools. In the next 2 years, we have about 7 million IT employees working in India. Out of 7 million, the report says minimum 1 million people will be out of jobs, and that trend is going to continue. It's a very bad news, particularly for IT metropolis like Hyderabad, Bangalore, Pune, Gurgaon, Chennai, where the whole economy is driven through the IT industry. I have seen myself when I came in '89 to Hyderabad. In Jubilee Hills, they were selling acres, not now centimeters or millimeters, at a throwaway price. There is no economic driver. Once the IT industry took off in Hyderabad, high-tech cities, Hyderabad, whatever you are seeing, real estate industry got benefited, the hospitality industry got benefited, healthcare industry, you name it, every sector got benefited because of the IT industry, because we are creating the employment. If this kind of driver, growth engine, is now a question mark in India, how long we can continue that growth engine? So that's a really worrying thing. The other worrying factor, the second worrying thing, recently I was in Apollo Chennai. I was taking treatment at Proton Cancer Center at Chennai. Almost 2.5 months I was there. Every day I used to see small children between ages from 2 years to 16 years. There's so many people who are coming with the brain cancer, so many cancer. I asked the doctors there, why suddenly so many youngsters? Because at that young age, they're getting the radiation. What life they will have? They may treat doctors like Raghuram, they may have some solutions in the hospital, but with that radiation, with that kind of thing, by the time they get 20 years or 25 years, I don't think you will have the same energy to continue. The doctors there, they were telling, Mr. Chowdhury, the root cause for this is all food adulteration. The water we drink, we think that we are taking mineral water, cool mineral water, but when these waters are transported from one place to other place, particularly in the summer, they'll get literally boiled. In that temperature, all the whatever the chemicals are there within that plastic goes into the water, and we are happily drinking that is a good water. That's one. Milk, whatever our children are taking, is all adulterated milk. All the vegetables, fruits, particularly processed foods, they use cottonseed oil, and repeatedly they use the same oil. And as per Apollo survey, every house will have at least 2 or 3 cancer patients. And he was openly telling hospitals like us will make money because more patients are coming. It's good for us, but it's not good for the country. If so many youngsters are getting impacted at the early stage, you think that we have a lot of manpower which is going to do in this complex world. The manpower is burdened with this kind of health diseases. What is going to happen to the country? So this is the second data point. The third one is actually a positive one, not a negative one. When I saw this statement, creative minds, innovative ideas, and sustainable solutions. It's a great concept for the symposium. We had recently means about 1 year back, a conference in Bangalore on the ISF Investors Connect. In that conference, my colleague Dinanath is also there. He was running a pitch competition, startup pitch competition, and so many investors were there and a lot of startups. We had that event in Bangalore. What is that location? No, not Buddhanahalli. HSR layout. There's a place called HSR layout where I was told there are 6,000 startup companies are in one colony. That's the reason why we had that conference. So in that conference, I told them that I wanted to do organic agriculture. We have 500 acres of farm. I took 200 desi cows. I did everything. I did a lot of investment went in for creating the water bodies and all that. But finally, I could not do anything because there's no labor. Labor happily sitting at home, getting every money like a salary. They're getting all the ration free, everything is free. Even they cover 1 hour, they're demanding chicken biryani. Maybe some people are asking even beer bottle and all that. With that kind of a thing, I don't think I can run any agriculture. So I told my brother, you take care. I don't have any interest. So I told this problem in that conference. One entrepreneur stood up, sir, you give me the complete details. Within 1.5 years, I will create a robo, and that robo will have all the arms to take care of the even plucking all the grass and providing the instant what do you call precision agriculture. Suppose there is a fruit or vegetable is not good, immediately it will give a signal to the cloud that this is the fruit and this is the problem, and one small micro drone can fly carrying that particular biopesticide, which can give it to that plant. Today, what's happening? There is any problem in the my farm, 500 acres, I give the same kind of medicine. I'm wasting a lot of it. So he said he's working on it. Hopefully, I think we are going to fund him, and if that solution is available, definitely there is a sustainable solution. Whereas, lot of government of India money, NREGA funds, and so many state government funds, they are all going wasted. I have seen myself when they bring all the farm workers in tractors and all that, this thing in front of me, I have seen they distribute the money, they do nothing, and they take all the money. Most of the money will go to the officers who come along with them, and that is a kind of misuse of the funds which are supposed to be useful for the rural sector and agriculture sector. That's not happening. Whereas, if you have this kind of creative minds and innovative ideas, we can create sustainable solutions through startups. So that is the focus for India Startup Foundation. Now we had 2 major conferences in Bangalore. One major conference is coming up in Hyderabad in September 27th and 28th, right? So that is a conference where our focus, I was telling my friend Ajit Rangnekar, there are so many problems in the rural areas. See, today for startup, many people are struggling because they don't have any problem to solve. If they create some app, some kind of a tech product, I think they are not going to survive. In fact, most of these early stage startups, they are all dying in the so-called startup death valley because they are not really solving a real problem. Whereas we have real problems, tons of them are available in the rural sector. The one example, whatever I said, the Chennai Apollo Hospital, if only we can create a sustainable products, food products, natural food products, which are at scale and at the same cost what the other food products are available. We are not only making money, we can supply the food all over the world, and also we can make sure that the ground, whatever the root cause for the cancer and all these diseases, that also can be solved. Through that, we can create employment generation, we can create wealth creation, and we are creating sustainable solutions for entire country. So that's where I request the organization to come with some kind of a action items. How is that we can work together and create those sustainable solutions for the rural India, so that India also will be benefited, more jobs can be created, more wealth can be created. So with this, I want to thank the organizers for giving me the opportunity to come and speak. Thank you.
It is really, I'm sure all the startups over here must be looking forward to you and Dina, whom I know for a very long time. I think Vishalakshi and Dina were together for the cycling at LNG Metro when we had that. So it is my relationship with them goes a very long way. And also with you when I was in HME. That is when the first time I met you. And ISB. I'm sorry, in what do you call it? SIBM. That is right. Thank you so much. And I'm sure all the startups now over here, whoever are there, know where to go head to when they want any idea to fructify. With that, we start with a special address. It starts with Srimati K. Ratna Prabhagaru, who is the IAS retired President Ubuntu Consortium.
K. Ratna Prabha is also our ABWCI Global Ambassador. So I forget, because the thing is, I feel I'm so close to her on everything that she is part of my founding team, not only ambassador of, because being global ambassador is a very big thing, but I feel more closely on those aspects, ma'am.
Good morning, all the dignitaries on the dais and guests from Hyderabad. Being a true Hyderabadi, I know how difficult it would have been for all of you to get up early in the morning and come for this kind of a thing. So I should thank all of you for being here today. Secondly, this is something sort of a homecoming for me being here. And it looks like a family reunion, because I will just speak 5 to 10 minutes, because I feel very much happy to be here. I remember that when I joined service in 1981, I was not given my home card because I had a lesser rank. Then I had to go to my neighboring state, that is Karnataka. It was good in those days, getting the second best state was, nowadays card allotment is so tough. So I was always looking for an opportunity to come to Hyderabad. I somehow never could forget Hyderabad. Though people who go to different cadres get settled there, but I would be looking for every opportunity to come to Hyderabad. And NIMSME, which was LISET in those days, was a good opportunity for me to come to Hyderabad. So whenever they used to advertise for a 1-week course or a 15 days course in LISET, I used to be the first person to apply and come here for the training. Though I would hardly learn anything from the training, I would just think it's an opportunity to be home. So Swarupa, I met her long time back when she was a faculty, and it's really wonderful to be here in this institution which has grown so big. I visited this institute after maybe 20-25 years. So it's really nice being here. Then secondly, then what happened, as I said, I kept looking for opportunities to come to Hyderabad or Andhra Pradesh. So when there was this advertisement for a central deputation at the Visakhapatnam Export Processing Zone, which was VEPZ, now VSEZ, Special Economic Zone, everyone said you're wasting 5 years of your career in going to a place where there's no industrial growth. It's just a plain piece of land out there. And what the hell are you going to go there? If it was the chairman of the port or chairman of the steel plant, it would have been worth opting for this. What is this VSEZ, VBZ? Nobody has heard of it. Nobody has heard of special economic zones, and why the hell are you going there? That was in 96. And I went there. It was a very small office with 2-3 staff, and it was thrown open. Now you develop. And I was out of the district. And in the districts, we are always anti-industry. You're supposed to be pro-poor and anti-industry. So all the industrialists told me, why are you going to the export processing zone? We don't see you doing anything for us. We're always, closing industries for pollution and labor issues and all that. So that was a new learning for me, going there, starting the industrial belt and, setting up a diamond unit, a car alloy unit. It was a very good journey, employing women out there. And that is when, during one of my visits to Hyderabad, I met the pioneer of industrial growth in Hyderabad, that was J. Chaudhary. He did tell what he has done. Chandrababu Naidu and he together developed the IT sector here. Here in Ameerpet, we had that small STPI where he used to sit there, Maitrivanam. And I went there and met him. And I said, why don't we do something in Visakhapatnam, IT? The CM's office said, no, we want to develop only Hyderabad. First, let us develop, that's what Randeep Sudan said. First, let us develop the drawing room. Then let's get into the bedroom. So how can we come to Visakhapatnam? But I didn't let it go. I kept, because Chaudhary was a central government employee, nothing to do with state. I was also from central, so I kept pestering him. Come on, let's do something in Vizag. Then one day Chaudhary landed with B.V. Mohan Reddy. You remember? We went and sat in some hotel of Info. Now what is it? Science. Now he's calling it Science. In those days it was some Infotech or something. How do we do something? How do we grow IT? Because I'm talking of innovation. These are all innovative ideas. Who would think in a coastal place we could start IT? IT was just growing in Hyderabad. So Chaudhary and me went on pestering so many, companies to come to Visakhapatnam. No, we do not come. We do this and that. Nobody wanted to come. Then Chandrababu Naidu was taking a delegation to Malaysia and Singapore because he wanted to learn what's happening. Chaudhary was also there. Then he said, why don't you come? I was in central government. They said, how can you go with a state government delegation? You're from central government. So I had to fight with everybody in the ministry and got myself nominated and went with them. And that is how first we saw the IT parks, how the computers are, how the IT grows, how it creates employment. And then we came back. And then Mr. Shamal Ghosh was Secretary Electronics. And he said, you're so passionate and I have faith in Chaudhary. We will set up the first STPI in the export processing zone. We will give you 1 crore to set up the satellite station. You give us the space. So first time it was a combination of Commerce Ministry and Electronic Ministry doing this. Nowhere it was done. That's how the IT exports started in Visakhapatnam with Ramakrishna Hegde, the Commerce Minister, coming and laying the foundation. So from there, I have the association with Chaudhary. So you don't think he's a small man. He is the one who taught Chandrababu Naidu, showed the way to him how the IT could pick up in Hyderabad. Really, I'm telling you, because I have seen him. That small office, I used to go and sit with him. Maitrivanam, can you imagine in Ameerpet, one small one satellite there, he was sitting and trying to promote. And look what has happened to Hyderabad with the IT, this thing. So, with that experience, I came again. And then again, always wanting to be in Hyderabad. So, applied for interstate deputation. Came to Hyderabad. And because of that experience, the then CM Rajshekar Reddy gave me the post of IT Secretary. That's how I came here, continued working here, then the whole of that Microsoft, Infosys, etc. One phase, I take pride that it was established during my time. Because when I took charge, we had only the high-tech city there, only that building. And the Cyber Pearl and some cyber something. Only 3 buildings were there. The rest was developed during my time where I was there for 3 years. And that is when I met Ramagaru. Okay. Ramagaru was heading a lead. She came and told me, I'm doing this, the industrial park and all that. IT, I had no need to take interest in industries, but I went to see what she was doing. And she had set up this beautiful women's industrial park, exclusively for women. So all this is innovation. You don't have to really say what is innovation. Exclusive women's park for women. Can you dream of it in India in 2000 or 1990 or something? I don't know. 25, 30 years back. A women's park exclusively for women entrepreneurs. And what she did remained in my mind. I always believe in learning from others. I don't think I'm a bureaucrat, I know everything. I only learn from people. I pick up from my clients, I pick up from the people who are around me. I pick up from people who know much more than me because we are new to any sector. We are there for 1 year, 2 years, we get transferred. One day we are in health, another day we are in education, another day we are in IT, another day we are in public enterprise, not doing anything. So, you learn. So that's how I met her. And then when I went back to Karnataka and became the first additional Chief Secretary, Industries and Commerce, after a great deal of fight, that a woman can head the Industries Department, and it's not only the men, that I implemented what she did after 20 years, introduced an industrial policy for women, and had this exclusive women's parks in the industrial policy. And we had 5 women parks, one in Bangalore, Mysore, Gulbarga, and Hubli Dharwad. We had this industrial parks with special incentives, concessions, etc., which I think was an innovation because women could have their own industries. Women felt that government was looking at them, government was doing something for them. Because when I went there initially to do this policy, we found that women were somewhere, there were so many women associations, but nobody cared for them. So when we called them, they came up with so many ideas. And I owe it to Rama Garu that because of her, we could introduce this into our policy. And in fact, this policy I have recommended to Government of India, Parul and me, if you remember, made us a secret policy because Prime Minister told me now I can share it. What's wrong in that? I went and met Prime Minister and he said, what can you do? I said, this is what we have done. Can be done. Then Prime Minister asked me, you give me a policy. And I ran to Parul's office. Both of us secretly did one policy and shared it. We don't know, it didn't take shape, but it's fine. But we made our effort and I'm sure that someday the Prime Minister's office will look at the Equal India. We call it Equal India, that women should be. Because Prime Minister asked me, what do you want? What will be your contribution if I give you a position? I said, women form 50% of your vote bank. You should do exclusively for women. No, enough of Anganwadis, enough of maternity food. Let us do something for the women. And that's how, we did something there. So something innovative, we sent it. And finally, then one day Parul landed up in Bangalore to end the whole story of how all of us are here. 2014 to 16, I was the ACS Industries. Parul came to us representing We Connect. And we were just doing our Invest Karnataka. At that time, Karnataka was in the 8th position. Everybody thinks Karnataka is first in industries. But when I took charge, we were in the 13th position. Then the next year, 14 to 15, we moved to 8th position. That was the time when I met Parul. And then he said, I'm representing We Connect. When you're doing Invest Karnataka, why don't you have a separate session for women? And we said, yes, we should do something for women. Why should investors meet be only focused on men? Why should it be only focused on large companies coming to your state? Let's focus on women. And that's how he formed the WhatsApp group, which was called Invest Karnataka. And then we did a special session for women. And it was so interesting that, we had different sessions. One Japanese session, one UK session, one some session. And all the sessions were going empty and everyone was in our session, in the women's session. And it was jam-packed, 400 women, the people were standing. And those other guys who were doing the sessions were coming, running and saying, please come to our sessions. But everybody was here. It was so well conducted. And that, after that, Parul said, let us do Asia's largest women entrepreneurs meet in Bangalore. It was his idea. I was only signing letters. He said, you sign letters, I will get the sponsorship. I was by then ACS. I was out of industries, out of power, on the road to become the chief secretary. So nobody cares for the ACS post. But then he said, no, let's do it. We requested the industries minister who gave us that big BIC. He did a beautiful world, Asia's largest women entrepreneurs meet, 5,000 women. This is also innovation. You know, innovation doesn't mean you must do a product or something like that. You do things, tangible and intangible, which has an impact. So we did the Asia's largest women entrepreneurs meet. That's how we started working together. And once I retired, Parul said, ma'am, we should have this commerce, one chamber for women. So I said, yeah, we should do it. Okay. And then he was working and there was some problem with registrations, etc. He was in Delhi, I was in Hyderabad, they were fighting, they were working on it. Meanwhile, what happened was the women entrepreneurs whom I was working with Karnataka, they suggested that, ma'am, you have retired and we have formed this WhatsApp group, which was done for Invest Karnataka, and so many presidents were on the group. Let us form a consortium of women entrepreneurs, and that is how we registered Ubuntu Consortium as a Women Entrepreneurs Association. We work for women entrepreneurs now in 11 states, 25,000 people, and now Parul, there are 55 members. Wonderful. And then suddenly after 1 year, Parul called me and said, ma'am, this is registered. ABWCI is registered. But already I was doing this with my, Karnataka and other women entrepreneurs. So he said, you be my global ambassador. But he forgot me in between. That's what I was telling him. So I'm still your global ambassador. So Parul and me, now we are working. We supplement and complement each other. We do work for women entrepreneurs within India. He does for women abroad. So from local to global, we complement each other. When we have an event, we call him, he supports us, and when he has something to do it. And that's why I'm here. So together, so many innovative things can be done. So it's not necessary that when you talk of innovation, you talk of a software, or you talk of a hardware, or you talk of a product. But you can also have innovative actions which lead to a lot of changes. So I'm very glad to be here and very happy that all my friends, and of course Kavita, I can't forget, Kavita was here. She's also treasurer of Elite, a partner with Rama Garu. So we used to meet and she used to represent Elite in all the meetings. And when she called me here, I was really glad. She's been now promoted as the zonal head, South Asian head of ABWCI. So it's nice to meet Kavita and Ambika's there working with Parul and all the big people sitting here. It's very good to be here. I felt it's just like going down the memory lane and wanted to be here and share my thoughts. Thank you. And sorry if I took time, but then one had to acknowledge all the people who are on the stage, from whom I learned and became what I am now. Thank you.
I would like to call Mr. Ajit Panganekar, Director General Research and Innovation Circle of Hyderabad, to give his special address.
We realize the enormous need and power for a platform where women can express themselves and get their rightful share of what's happening in the country. Way back in 2004, I was invited to a NASSCOM conference, and they were saying that there is going to be a shortage of 520,000 engineers for IT by 2010. And I said, look, you are ignoring 45% of this country's population, because only 10% of the women vote for engineering. So you take science graduates, physics graduates, even ask the graduates among women, train it, and you will have no shortage of either talent. After that, they never invited me. That's it. But I think this is extremely necessary. This is good, and please use this power. We men tend to be vocal. It's time for women to be vocal and to get what you want and to express what you're doing. Half the time, the great work that you're doing lies with you. Ma'am, I may also tell you, while you talked about my friend's contribution to IT, he's also the father of entrepreneurship in this. Way back in 2000, when we started ISB, we said we want to be different and we want to start a center for entrepreneurship. But I really didn't know what I was going to do with it till I met Jay. And in 2004, we started the Thai ISB Connect, which was the beginning of entrepreneurship, bringing entrepreneurs together, connecting them to the VCs. And from 2004, when I look now, the enormous change that has happened, the credit goes to this man. I'm personally proud to call him my friend and to acknowledge what he has done for the state. So I'll take up from where you started and then add a few. See, what is happening is part of the reason why we are suddenly seeing an increase in cancer patients, etc. And please correct me if I'm wrong, is also because we are doing earlier diagnosis and better diagnosis. So it's not that necessarily, maybe cancer has worsened because of our food and things like that, but the good part of it is we are doing. And a lot of it is happening because quicker, faster, technology-driven tests are coming up, which is allowing us. Hopefully, going forward, technology is also going to help us solve and to treat some of these things. Similarly, in agriculture, what's happening is, while on one hand there is a shortage of labor, and that's a completely ridiculous situation today in this country, where we have a huge pool of talent and we still don't have people. And that is leading to a large number of agri-tech innovations. Now, in both life sciences and in agriculture, there is a huge percentage of women students. Right? So that's one. Also, what is going to happen is, already we are saying that the heat wave is already upon us. Yesterday, there was a news report that the incidences of heat waves will increase 30 times. 3,000% for those of us who think 3,000% increase in heat. And this is only heat waves. We already saw what happened to Dubai with extreme rains. So, weather patterns and weather changes are going to play havoc also with agriculture, also with health. Because what will happen is, as places where we lived become unlivable, we will move, we will interact more and more with animals, zoonotic diseases will increase, and therefore, so this entire issue of health and agriculture is going to become very big. The second thing is, and by the way, one report said that from 1992 to 2014, in a period of 22 years, the world lost 30 trillion US dollars. Trillion. So roughly $1.5 trillion a year. India's GDP is about 3 trillion. So just think that the world is losing, and that was up to 2014. If you look now and you talk of this, the world will probably lose anywhere between 2 trillion and 3 trillion dollars every year. And it is expected that 60% of that loss will happen in southern countries like ours. So our future is at enormous risk from climate, number one. Number two, AI and all the developments are also creating a huge increase in cyber security risk. So that itself is talked about anywhere between 200 and 500 billion. So if you take just these two things together, and I turn it around from a calamity to an opportunity, then you are talking of an opportunity of about $3 trillion for each one of you to look at these opportunities and see how you can not just make money out of it, but contribute for because our children and our grandchildren are going to be affected by this crime. And we owe it to them to find the guide. So there are enormous opportunities in health, agriculture, and in sustainability. So the Telangana government has always very strongly believed that we want to be the state known for its innovation, but that is not just digital innovation, but innovation that affects all sectors of society. So RICH, which I did, deals with farmers and innovations in farm and agriculture. VHub, and pretty soon the new CEO of VHub will be announced, and I'm meeting her. I don't know whether I should talk about it in its announcement, but we will have I think a coordinated program. So we also have one organization which is focused on helping women entrepreneurs. The third entity is also the entity which I currently head, which is the Telangana State Innovation Cell. And the Telangana State Innovation Cell's current focus is to support startups at grassroots, rural startup. As Jay rightly said, there is enormous potential, once again, in protecting our water resources, in protecting our agricultural resources, in ensuring that we don't need to come to the cities, but we can have a very good and healthy and profitable life in the villages. And so TSIC supports grassroots innovation and societal innovation. Innovation with a double bottom line. So innovations which are profitable, but the main purpose of that is to do societal good. And all of these are going to be necessary. The last 40 years from 1980 to 2020 were the era of capitalization, globalization. I personally very strongly believe that these next 40 years, including now, is going to be the era of environment and society. And I would like to see women take the first lead. As I said, the three state entities, Telangana State Innovation Cell, VHub, and the Research and Innovation Circle of Hyderabad are there for you to fully exploit, to get the best out of it. The one last thing I'd say is that there was a report which said that the world is losing I'm sorry, these days I only use trillions, because I'm just scared with what I'm seeing around. But the world is losing $6 trillion because women enterprises are not funded. That is a crime against humanity. And again, while we can't, I wish we had $6 trillion and we would have funded, but we will, I'm hoping we'll start a fund for women entrepreneurs to support women entrepreneurs. Yes, and therefore I was going to say that ABWCI, he and I and VHub, and we'll bring everyone together and we'll make it happen. Thank you.
We will work together because there are a lot of opportunities in the rural area. If Telangana government and ISF and ABWCI can work together, I think we can really create a new wave. You are part of it. You are ambassador. You are a global ambassador, right? Okay, how can you be? Thank you.
Now I request our partner, Dr. S. Lori Sarupa, Director General, NIMSLING, please give her address.
Very good morning to all of you and greetings from National Institute for Micro, Small, Medium Enterprises, Ministry of MSME, Government of India, Hyderabad. Also, best wishes and greetings to all of you on the occasion of Mahavir Jayanti. Today is celebrated as Mahavir Jayanti. We are very happy to be part of this one-day symposium on creative minds, innovative ideas, and sustainable solutions. Congratulations to Kavita Garu for taking over the charge as regional president. And I'm very happy to have Madam Ratna Prabha Garu. So she acknowledged me as her kind of second home. Nice to have all the previous friends like Madam Ramadevi Garu also. And Madam, for your information, I'm straight away coming from Laksa. So now they have special cadres also, Indian Entrepreneurship Development and Indian Skill Development cadre. So first batch of Indian Skill Development is undergoing induction, orientation. So I have been called for a session. I was there. We are making our best efforts to promote the women entrepreneurship and to handhold the women entrepreneurs and to cater to their needs wherever it is possible. And Kavita Garu made a very wise decision. The stage is well balanced. Yeah, that's why I came and sat beside. Otherwise, only all men beside. So creative minds. I think in India we have a lot of creative minds. If we list the creations or the creative ideas given by starting from the school students or in the colleges, +2 colleges, especially in science and technology community, and among illiterate masses also we find, and a lot of innovations are going on. So rightly our ministry also identified the need, and they have announced a scheme that is innovative. And I'm very glad to share that we are the host institution for this innovative scheme. And year after year, a hackathon is called, and the aspirants has to come out with their proposals, the ideas, and it is screened at the institution level, then at the ministry level, then whoever is most innovative. So they get 15 lakhs grant for an innovative idea alone, only the grant. So later to develop their product, their prototype, to launch their business, then lot of assistance is given. We have celebrated our Diamond Jubilee in the year 2020. 60 years of commendable services to the country and to the growth of MSMEs, not only in our country, but across developing nations. So we have also taken a call after Diamond Jubilee. So what do we do? Something new, something innovative. So as rightly told by the previous speakers, so 50% of the population is again women. So precisely 49%. So we have taken a call to double the number of women entrepreneurs in the country. So we have been working not in a structured way, because this is a self-financing institution. So wherever we were getting the support in terms of technology, in terms of some platforms like this, our finances, our knowledge sharing, we have been doing that. We started fortunately with Jammu and Kashmir from the help of Governor House and JKTPO. We have organized for them entrepreneurship and mentoring program for the women. So Jammu and Kashmir women are known for their handicrafts, making some pashminas, processing honey, processing again saffron, all these things. So it was a bit tough time for us to do online for them, because they are not well versed with Hindi, English they cannot follow. That too online. So everyone was learning. Institutions like NIMSMI was also trying to set up their elements and doing many things. So we could onboard precisely 118 women onto Amazon platform after 3 months of this EDP plus 3 months of mentoring. Now they are selling their products across various countries. We could introduce them to 40 countries, because our reach is 145 nations through IDEC programs. So likewise, we started doing here and there. Jharkhand government, they have a scheme funded by World Bank. So Tejaswini, under that we are helping them exclusively to bring out the innovations from women and empowering them, teaching them our schemes and a lot of strategies we have been doing. So we also started organizing as an institution women hackathon. So first version we have completed, and when we were about to do the second version, our ministry also has announced a women hackathon exclusive version for entire nation. And I'm so happy to share that see, it is open for all, but two women entrepreneurs again for this exclusive women hackathon were awarded. One girl, very young girl by name Swapna. So she is doing the security system in the heights. If there is a problem in the tall buildings, now we have high-raised structures. So how to take care of the fire safety and other safety, the security systems. She got an innovative idea, and now we are mentoring her to launch her product. Likewise, one more lady by name Anusha. So she is developing the analog millet rice. I think some other health issues were shared here. We are very much capital of diabetes, and Hyderabad is known for that. We are very much obese, having a lot of rice. Last year was the International Year of Millets. Millets is given a lot of emphasis, and awareness is being created. The nutritional facts, the health impact, and all those things. So if a millet is served as rice in the rice form, so maybe people like to eat that. If biryani is served with that analog rice, I think it can go beyond borders, like how Hyderabad biryani is going every day. She's developing. Yeah. So how Hyderabad biryani every day is going to Dubai, London, and other places. So this may happen. IIM has that formula, and she's incubating there also. We introduced her, definitely. She's an NRI. She came back to India. Good that, and she won the innovative idea competition and the women hackathon and analog millet rice she's developing. I really appreciate Chaudhary ji for his voluntary support to this woman. So how do we double the number of women entrepreneurs? So we have a success women industry association here. Whenever there is a policy dialogue in the ministry, especially close room discussion with minister, I have been suggesting, rather requesting and making noise, trying to make a noise there, that every state we need this kind of women industry association. We have only 7. I think I'm right, 7. Yeah, Gujarat it started, Seva, then Ali, then we have Kobe, then we have Awake. Very vibrant and national, of course, international presence also we do have. But other states it's not so. Tamil Nadu also we have, but such a national presence is not there. So I have been requesting my ministry to set up this kind of women industry associations in every state, so that whatever we are aspiring for, the targets, the goals, that will be achieved. As of now, in the MSME sector, women operated enterprises are only 13.2%, and women-owned enterprises are only 13.2%, and women operated, where women also participating in leadership roles and in production, other floors, so it is around 18.3%. So unless we have these kind of associations, so women will not come forward for various reasons. There is a lot of stigma, and they need an exclusive forum where only women can take care of them, address their issues, and give a solution for their challenges. And so a lot of innovations, as told by Ratnaprabha Madam, it is happening. So from ministry side, from municipal side, we are also striving our hard to handhold the women entrepreneurs. And regarding sustainability, so I think we should all make a promise to ourselves that sustainability should be our responsibility, because we are all experiencing the ill impacts and the bad effects of the climate, and our interventions, more importantly. Because of our human interventions, all these things are happening. I'm very happy to share our ministry has launched 2 important schemes to take care of the sustainability aspects of MSMEs. One is GIFT scheme, Greening Innovations Finances for Transformation. Other one is for Circular Economy. So that is Sustainable Promotion for Circular Economy. Under these 2 schemes, the MSMEs who are planning to have the renewable energy sources are manufacturing of these kind of services, products, are rendering the services, will be given financial assistance and also credit guarantee under this SPICE scheme. So these two schemes are there. I think majority of you are aware of this, but still you can take this message so that the MSMEs will become more sustainable. And it is very heartening to note that 28% of the pollutants and all the waste is generated from MSME sector alone. Though we contribute good for the GDP, for the economy, for employment generation, but still there is the negative side. That's why ministry has made this. And another good scheme is there, that is RAM, raising and accelerating the performance of MSMEs. Under this scheme, again, greening the sustainability is one very major component. We are partnering with the states because it is a state subject, MSME development and growth. So we are helping them to take care of this greening activities. Under that, again, creation of awareness and to starting from solar panel making or whatever energy efficient solutions, technologies, promotion, establishment, and propagation. So ministry is helping. Since it is from Women Association, Foreign Association, so I just want to share one thing with all of you. We are aware of the Unicorn Club. There is only one woman from India into this Unicorn Club. She is none other than Miss Radhika Gai. Radhika Gai Agarwal is her full name. She is the only woman. So when population is 49%, I think more and more women should join that club. And she worked 20 years to get into that position. I hope all of you are aware what is the Unicorn 190s, right? So minimum 20 years is required, and at present, if all the organizations sitting here, if they support any woman, I think minimum it takes 10 years to reach that 1 + 9 zeros of business value to get into that club. Her brand is Kind Life. She is doing that IT business. Earlier, she was working for an international company that is Shopcluse. It's a marketing platform. So, gaining that experience, she could do that. Without that international experience, having working in US, it is very difficult for any woman to do that. So, we are with you to support with any kind of assistance, whether it is technology, space, finances, getting into a scheme, or networking, and hand holding, anything, we are with you. And we have IP facilitation center for your all IP product needs, starting from your trademark and patents, geographical indication, anything you can approach us. We will help you out. And like all the speakers were telling, so it is our responsibility to see that women progress, and more women should get into this Unicorn Club. So since that 9 zeros is difficult, so I propose at least we'll start with the baby cons, right? So definitely, yeah, we should start with the baby con. I'm trying to promote this concept everywhere because it's easy. We have several schemes, even under Mudra, 2 lakhs, 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs maximum. Under Kishore, it is given 10 lakhs. Even under PMEGP, starting from 1 lakh, the loan is available. 50 lakhs now, up to 1 crore, it is available because second loan is also extended. So you can take this concept, all of you, and whatever assistance is required, we will help you out. Because I always feel, so India now, as told by Ajitji, we have 5 trillion economy, and 3, we are aiming at 5, we are in 5th position, we are trying to reach that 3rd position, we are landed on the moon. Many things are happening, but still we are bound by the standards and regulations by the world bodies. World Bank, our European Union, so they'll set a standard and it's very difficult to comply with their quality standards. Otherwise, we have standards set by for auto industry Germany, for IT US. Always we have to comply with that. So why can't we define the value of this babycon and show to the world? Yes, now we are the highest populated country, highest young country, highest country with the highest youth population and women population. This is our value. You comply with this. We have this many babycons, and you take it from us. So that's how I think we can bring out more creative minds. We can bring out more innovations and see that our MSMEs go sustainable with the assistance from the government. Not only from our ministry, various other ministries also we have assistance for greening MSMEs. I thank Kavita Garu for partnering with us and all the dignitaries visiting NIMSME and cherishing the good memories about NIMSME and all the gatherings present here for visiting NIMSME. And you not only visiting, you should keep visiting again and again and take the benefits extended by Government of India and practiced by NIMSME. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
With this, I ask now Srimati Rama Devi Garu, who is the president of Ali. I think she is the one who has been the startup, and from 2000, I mean, yeah, forward. You have been the one who has done the innovation. Yes. So yeah. So you have shown the way for others to come and join, and other states also to take it forward, as well as ABWCI, I'm sure.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. And I congratulate Fosils again coming up with another innovation to bring all of us together, because networking is very important and we learn a lot through this network. Often we don't meet also because of various stress on our time and everything. So sometimes when we get this platform, we realize that we are all together in a very good objective. So it's a wonderful initiative taken by them, because women's presence in the international scenario is what we require. We need to project ourselves as an exporter. So this is the main intention of all these programs. And coming to, the other dignitaries here, Chaudhary Garu, he is a father of, I can say, innovation. When it started, Prabha madam told everything, but even I was also part of it. I used to admire him. And Chandrababu Garu, wherever he goes, he used to mention his name. And Madam Ratna Prabha, I know we need to have some good leaders to follow. One such leader is Ratna Prabha madam, because whatever I did, she was trying to make it more applicable to more organizations. That's what she did. And now all women to members, they look at her as a great leader. I see in WhatsApp appreciation. And that's how we need to take it forward. Once we think that we are doing something good, replicable things need to be replicated all over, not only country, in other countries also. So thank you, madam, for your words. And Glory Sarupa, we are with NIMSME. I know you announce your programs, we carry all your programs. So we are not have to. Ajit sir is with vast experience in ISP and now head in Rich. We appreciate. I happen to discuss with him various issues which we feel as incubators also. There are a lot of challenges. I don't want to mention all those challenges here, but nice to meet you, sir. Ambika and Sir Radhakishwar, who is here, and also Annapurna and Madam Meenakshi, wonderful innovations. And Raghuram Garu, he was with Alip also, and he's wonderful. And what he's doing is what we all do. And Vishal Lakshmi Garu and anybody I missed, And also Vishal Lakshmi from Millet Bank, I mentioned, because when we are talking about agriculture innovation, she is in innovation. She value added millets, and today she is everywhere in all supermarkets. She is one of the innovators. Viva, who is into biodegradable products from our elite incubation. She gave a solution for climate issues. And first, I think she identified the machine also, which makes biodegradable. And she is a sustainable innovation, because after thinking, everybody thinks. Like innovation, we all get a lot of ideas. I get every day one idea. But implementing, making it sustainable is the big issue. That's what she did. She went out of innovation and she started her enterprise. But let us take her case study. What happens after innovation is very important, sir. I think the sustainability steps, what we take, needs lot of support. And these, entrepreneurs, They have an urge. They want to be. I remember her coming with a small baby to her unit. She delivered, and with 1 month baby, she carried her 1 month baby, and she was there in the. That's how women get involved in business, and they need 100% support. Please, what I urge all these eminent organizations to handhold and see that their life is made easy, because becoming an entrepreneur is really like walking on a tightrope. Taking care of your family, taking care of, now I have to rush to some other place, something. I have to take care of my family, my father, my mother, my husband, my children, and take care of your factory or whatever, your enterprise, yourself. That yourself they forget. That's what he kept on saying. All the time, you have something to do. Where is peace? What I urge is, we need to find innovative methods to make our life simple and easier. That's most important, because we need to be happy end of the day. Whatever you make, whether it's a business, service or anything, be happy, contented. And when you are into business, don't look for becoming, I'm not contradicting, but we are not looking at unicorns. We are looking at making others' life much easier. Let us have responsible businesses. You are the person who is addressing climate issues when you are starting an enterprise. But don't you think of other people when you are setting up a unit? There are a lot of pharma units which are coming up as innovation today, but they are polluting. Who is responsible? It's us. So be responsible. That's a big word which we have to keep in mind. When you set up something, all these parameters have to be kept in your mind, because it's not IT or anything, it is a manufacturing sector which requires innovation today, particularly MSME sector. We have to get rid of this outdated mechanical products, mechanical machinery or whatever, and come up with various solutions to make it viable and sustainable. Today, most of the MSME sector are in losses due to the process, due to not getting into automation, due to not getting into innovation. So that is where the future of our country lies. I'm not saying it is not IT, but our strength should be in manufacturing. Our strength should be in agriculture. Our strength should be in textile and handicrafts, which we make, a dent in the world market. So let us focus with innovation and technology. Please try to understand the demand and get it here, because recently I happened to be with the European Commission, and they are keep on saying that your crafts are wonderful. Why you are not getting a craft with the EU? We are there to collaborate. So countries are looking at us for certain products. Food. Look at food. We can feed the whole world. But what is happening? As Sir said, there is no farming happening in all the villages. No farming. So we need innovation there. We need the climate issues like recycle, reuse. So much plastic is coming, but we are not converting into a product. In fact, we are importing plastics. I heard in one of the seminars, they are importing, recycled plastic from other countries. Why? As though we can't do that? Yeah, we can. We can do that. So let us think, what is the predict future, please. What is going to happen in future is something, climate issues, your agri-tech has to be addressed, your health tech. It's not only IT sector, which is with innovation, but we always show that unicorns are from IT. But doing something good to make people's life comfortable is innovation. And the process what you take up is supported well by Government of India. Because of election time, I cannot mention all those things. But I would like to say there's a huge ecosystem, hand-holding support, giving you grants, but what happened to the grants, nobody is asking. That's the situation today. That's the environment what we have today. When I started industry, I had to give 200% collateral security to start my small enterprise. Today, you get under CGT MSME without any collateral. I have a very tiny ITI guy coming to me and taking 25 lakhs startup fund, 40 lakhs a scale-up grant. They don't have any background, sir. This is the support extended by various ministries. But let us put that to really a sustainable model. It's not taking money. It's how you sustain business. You need a lot of mentors like Ajit ji, Chaudhary ji, and Madam Glory, all these people will support. Let us all come together in bringing innovation. Incubation should lead to innovation and then industrialization. This is how we have to plan. And I think, 1 lakh, recently I happened to be there in Mahakumbh with the PM announcement of 1 lakh crore for startups for future. So this is how moving to the 5th place, a startup ecosystem. Our India is in the 5th place in the world. Future is for the youngsters. I think but getting into the right areas is very important, and identifying the markets is very important. Innovation in technology, it should be sustainable innovation, what I feel. And people like Parul who will put us to international markets are very important. And recently, even government announcement of 3% reservation for women in PSUs. In defense is opening up. Think of big things also, and where gaps are there, please take that opportunity, because opportunities will not come every time. Opportunities come only during a short period. So please grasp and innovate and be successful entrepreneurs. This is my call to you. And ELIP as an incubation center, ELIP, sir, ours is also ELIP Rehab. And we are representing Niti Aayog, Ministry of Electronics, Ministry of MSME, Ministry of Commerce, and all ministries. They join in giving us the funds because we are women entrepreneurs. So take advantage and please do come and visit our incubation center. It's the only manufacturing. We do have machinery for you. How Pratibha be successful is we provided her with machinery for biodegradable plastic. And she worked with us for 1 year almost. And once she found her own production, she moved away and she got a bank loan, and she got her from SISF also. So she's a successful role model. Now I'm asking Ms. Lakshmi also to get into SISF so that she can pack and sell for the export market. So thank you, Parul. Thank you, Kavita. Kavita is my good friend, and she's been the founder of LEAP also with us. We all as a team work together with the madam. I used to ask her many advices, and she's always there as a, what I can say, advisor, guide, everything, friend. Thank you, madam, and thanks to all this gathering here, and thank Anand for coming from India, from Delhi. I hope you will be getting it to maybe next assignment will be with one bag. So he's also a good friend. From Naipur, we also collaborate with the Naipur. Sir is here, and thanks for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Our next speaker will be Dr. Radhakrishnan from Wiki, Telangana, Executive Committee Member and Director, HC Robotics Private Limited.
Thank you, madam. Good afternoon, esteemed guests on the dais, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for this opportunity. Ever since I came to Hyderabad several years back, I started following one gentleman who is sitting next to me, Sri J. Chaudhary. And, probably you're all talking about India startup and things like that now, but I know him, for the ages, and continue working with him on AmCham, IACC, FICCI, FAPSI. FICCI was president several years ago. I'm only executive member just now. But not only those things, but there are so many social activities which we used to work together. One is saving our schools for the schools in Hyderabad. How to develop the schools, how to make them more workable and things like that. So many of the corporations here adopted those schools in those days. Then later, in the recent activity for the last few years, we are doing this Let's Vote along with Professor Subrahmanyam and a few others. Let's Vote is again a charity body making everybody to vote. These are the things that I do work. And on the right side, of course, right side there are a lot of people, but one person I'll point out is our Director General of this institute called National Institute for Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, for which we are also training partners. And there are at least 4 or 5 DGs that have worked in the past but I can tell you, she's different. She's very bold. Not for reasons that you can see here, but at the back of this institute, this institute is to have so much of problem, with illegal occupancy. I was in the recently, madam, I was actually going through the road and I saw that huge compound wall that was built. It's not a joke. It's fighting with the locals, fighting with the politicians, fighting with so many others, and you could make it. That's an extremely great thing that you have done. And of course, I have worked with so many of you in the past. Starting with Ajit and Kalyan Ramani madam and all that. But one thing that I can see in the startup ecosystem today is are the innovations, innovative brains and things like that. All our sisters, ammas, wives, everybody, they're all innovating in the sense our recipes that we have prepared at homes, in our kitchens, are the greatest innovation of the world. Otherwise, all these pictures and burgers would have taken us, long back. But, you people sustain this model of preparing Indian food for the Indian, Indian recipes and things like that. That is the greatest innovation that I can think of any time. And coming, slowly in that manner, what we can see is today we are not able to do the innovations of startups in the areas where we require most. Of course, health, agriculture, and these are things that definitely we need a lot of innovation, but lot of imports we are actually getting from various countries, especially small electronic items, small chips, small, a CCTV camera. We don't manufacture here. Everything is imported. And whatever that is in a fan, probably certain components we don't manufacture here. Today, in the defense and some of the other areas, government is encouraging innovations in so at so many levels. HC Robotics is one company that I am a director, and we have won a challenge from the IDEX, that is the Defense Ministry Innovation Challenge, and trying to develop a product which is otherwise imported at a very costly. So some of these innovations need to be encouraged. And recently I was reading an article where if you spend 2 crore rupees, that innovation will last forever. Our R&D efforts have to be, accurate, and we can develop the products in such a manner that, we can take this, for years together. And we can compete with countries like Taiwan, Vietnam, or for that matter, Bangladesh. I know one company in Bangladesh which produce greatest technologies of the world. So I think, one is our youngsters are one way trying to get, become rich. They want to become overnight rich and things like that because of the OU and cities of the world. But at the same time, we need to put our efforts on individuals or the groups who are interested in developing the real-time science and technology or R&D. Then only things can actually take this, take our country to next level. And I will tell you one or two small stories here. Recently, one of my colleagues actually called me one day in the morning and said, I have only 16 days to go, because he said he was detected with cancer and doctors had told him, 60 days max. Then next, after 3 or 4 days, they all are very upset with that particular thing. And after 3-4 days, he was in an airplane going to Varanasi. And he called me from the flight and he said, I'm going to Varanasi because I want to meet my guru. Then he went there. Then the Guruji, otherwise he lives in Himalayas and other places. But he was there at the Varanasi at the time. And gave him, after understanding his situation, he gave him the medicine. The medicine is basically our Hajmula Goli types, very small pills that he gave them. And he was asked to take this thing every day, morning 2 and evening 2. And after taking those 2 pills, he gets completely burning sensation. And that he has to sustain it. Then in the evening the same thing happens. So whenever the cancer will come down slowly, after a month or so it has come down, and automatically when he takes these pills, that burning effect will stop. When the burning effect stops means that his cancer is gone. But doctors in a very big corporate hospital here, told him that he will die immediately soon after taking this pills. But because such a stubborn guy, anyway, he will live over 60 days, so he started taking only that medicine. And the Guruji told him that after taking these pills, they all will pile up at one place in the body. And after seeing that, the doctor, because he was not taking any allopathic medicine, but he was taking the scannings. But after doing the scanning, he found all these pills are at one place. And doctors advised him, you have to operate and take out those pills, otherwise he will die again. But he did not believe that also, and he actually believed in Guruji. And Guruji told him that those doctors will say the same thing, but all these pills will digest in your body after your cancer comes down. So it so happened. This happened about 1.5 years back, and he's hale and healthy and doing extremely well. And this is the innovation we have in India, and these are the things that happen every day in this country. I think those are the things that we need to catch hold. We need to bring and do some kind of a little bit of work on such kind of things, so that our, especially as Madam said, diabetes is one big problem for all of us here, and how to stop it is something life changing, things that we can do, and we can actually come out of the problems that we have. So my feeling is that we need to adopt whatever our ancient culture, ancient systems are, but anywhere in the world, such kind of systems exist. I think we need to adopt those things, because that is how people lived happily forever, happily for ages in the past. But today, life expectancy and all these things are coming up because of the things that we, what we practice. Thank you.
Now I request Dr. Ambika Sharma, Chief Executive Officer of ABWCI, to say a few words.
Thank you, Geeta. That's a tall order to follow. I'm not even going to try saying half the things I had on my mind, also in the interest of time, because we're really running very far behind schedule. But my deep felt thanks for everyone who's on the dais. Thank you so much for accepting to be here. And we look forward to all the various ways in which ABWCI can partner with your organizations, institutions, and people that you know. I just want to communicate one thing, because it's been coming up again and again, that Kavita, who's been a champion here in Andhra and Telangana, has now taken over the regional role for South Asia. And I know there have been a few questions around that. So I just want to clarify that while we have champions in countries in about 35, 36 odd countries, and it's growing literally as we're talking, we also have regional blocks. So we have a really huge block that's developing right now in Africa, which has about 30 odd countries in Africa, and it's being led by an amazing woman. She's got some 40 years of experience in doing this with the Commonwealth. Similarly, we're trying these regional blocks in other parts of the world, depending on what is working and what's required for the women entrepreneur ecosystem in that part of the world. We're trying this in South Asia for bilateral trade. Not just trade, we'll obviously go beyond it, because we have associations as partners as well. So you were mentioning industry associations. There are women associations, and then there are industry associations, and then there are formal chambers that look at trade across countries. So we have partners, in Nepal, in Bangladesh, which are the leading associations for women in these countries. So Kavita is actually going to help raise that visibility for all women entrepreneurs in South Asia. And we are looking at buyer seller platforms. There is more that I can tell you about this, but I'm not going to use this time and space to do that. I'm just going to quickly point out 3 people in the room. There's Ritik here, there's Bharat sitting there at the back, and there's Harina and myself. You can reach out to any one of us in the lunch break or later, and we'd be happy to share more information. And thank you everyone for being here on Sunday. Thank you.
Now I request Dr. P. Raghuram, Founder, CEO, Usha Lakshmi Breast Cancer Foundation, to give his address.
Thank you very much, distinguished dignitaries and ladies and gentlemen. So it's well and truly, after listening to so many of you speak, I feel really honored, and it's a privilege to be amongst so many creative people with innovative solutions who have contributed significantly to the to women, and in particular, because I'm here to address on issues relating to women's health, which is breast health. Although there's no PowerPoint facility, I will just be very brief because I'm probably the last speaker. And I'm so happy that we have so many men in this audience, because it is the duty of the man in the house to look after their women, whether it's their mother, grandmother, spouse, daughter, because cancer, we have been hearing about various people speaking on this issue. Breast cancer is a tsunami in our country. This disease has overtaken cervical cancer almost a decade ago to become the commonest cancer affecting women. Obviously there's a fine line between advocacy and scaring people. I'm not here to scare you, but I think it's very important to be empowered. 200,000 new cases every year, 100,000 deaths every year. Every 4 minutes, someone is diagnosed with breast cancer in the country, and every 8 minutes, someone succumbs to it. So for every 2 women who are diagnosed with breast cancer, 1 woman dies of it. Why is that? It's because of lack of awareness, taboo issue, closet issue, and secondly, we don't have a robust population-based cancer screening program. Although it is there on paper, it's not a robust screening program, and that's why 60% of women in our country present in the advanced stages. So if we have to break free from this, there is only 2 ways. One, women of all ages, and also the other alarming statistics in our country is, although breast cancer is very common after the age of 50 in the West, in our country we are seeing the majority of breast cancers peak incidence between 40 to 50. When I was working in the UK for 10 years, I would hardly see someone in their 20s and 30s and 40s with breast cancer. Here in Hyderabad, every day I see women in their 30s and 40s with breast cancer. So my real story and the turning point for me is when my mother had breast cancer. I was working in the UK and my wife was a fertility specialist, and that was the major turning point. Being the only child, I felt it's my duty to look after my mother, and so I returned in 2007, 17 years ago, to look after my mother and serve my motherland. Through a lot of innovative ideas and creative solutions, I established the country's first dedicated breast center concept, where women with breast disease present to one place, not necessarily with cancer, because most women don't have cancer. Secondly, something which is very, very close to my heart, and the main reason why I came back, established a foundation which has my mother's name. She's 90, she's a breast cancer survivor, she's a gynecologist, and all the activities which are being done in this country is being done in her name. So మాతృ దేశంలో అమ్మ పేరుతో పెట్టిన ఫౌండేషన్ లో సేవ చేసే అవకాశం కలిగినందుకు నేను అదృష్టవంతుడిని. So if there are 2 messages that I want to convey to you. Firstly, women of all ages, if you notice any new change in your breast, whether it's a painless lump or a painful lump, more importantly painless lump in the breast, recent retraction of the nipple, any excoriation of the skin around the nipple areolar region, any dimpling of the skin overlying the breast, please don't ignore. You must go to a doctor. Secondly, women of over 40 years and over, every year must have an annual screening mammogram. There is no other way to detect early cancer. There are many cancers where you can't detect early, like colon cancer or pancreatic cancer or esophageal cancer, gastric cancer, you can't detect early. There are 3 cancers that can be detected very early. One is breast cancer, the second is cervical cancer, third is oral cancer. And we can detect it so early through a mammogram, through few millimeters, when a cancer is, in a stage where the lady or the doctor cannot feel it. Several years later, that would form a palpable lump. You can pick it up so many years earlier. When you pick it up that early, There is no need to remove the breast. The breast can be reshaped. I don't mean after mastectomy. I am saying that when a lump is removed, nowadays the techniques are called oncoplastic surgery, where you remove the lump, you reshape the breast so that you give excellent aesthetic outcome. And if women are diagnosed with breast cancer very early in the impalpable stage, one doesn't need chemotherapy, and we can confidently state, normally in cancer you don't use the word cure, although it's misused by private hospitals, etc. But when a cancer is detected that early, we can certainly say with confidence that we expect such women to succumb to old age and not cancer. And so, if someone notices any new issues, they must not ignore. And the final point I'd like to say is that in breast health, because you're all educated, I'm sure you'll be able to empower others who are not here. If someone notices a lump in the breast, 9 times out of 10, it is not a cancer, it's benign. But to know whether the lesion is a cancer or not, there are 3 things. One is to meet a doctor who takes proper history, not just writes investigations. Talking is very important. Communication, that's the first component. Clinical examination. Second is a combination of mammogram and ultrasound. Third is an ultrasound guided core needle biopsy. With these 3 things, it is possible without putting the knife on the skin to get a diagnosis, because I see a lot of patients for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th opinions where they've already had surgery to get a diagnosis. In this day and age, and this is not from Mickey Mouse centers, these are from big centers. So if someone has a breast problem, there is no need to have surgery to get the diagnosis. You can get through triple assessment, a diagnosis, and treatment planning can be done. So if you or your relatives go to a doctor with a breast health issue, if triple assessment is not done, then you are in the wrong place. So finally, very grateful for the opportunity that I have been given to say a few words. And finally, just one thing that comes to my mind is, we have so many men here, and so I must say this, we have a lot of festivals throughout the year. So during these festivals, in addition to buying a sari for the women in your life, if you can gift a mammogram for women aged 40 and over, you would have contributed to saving scores of lives in our country. Thank you very much.
The session which we are having now is technology and innovation advancements across sectors. And this is going to be moderated by Mr. J. Chaudhary, founder ISF. And I request him to please come on stage.
And I see a lot of future, as B.V. Naidu was also mentioning. Next wave is going to be startup wave, and women entrepreneurs are going to lead. And I see a lot of women entrepreneurs are budding entrepreneurs who are going to be new entrepreneurs. I think future is all yours, and definitely ISF is there to support all of you. So with this one-line intro, I want my panelists to give their thoughts. How, as a responsible citizen of this great nation, how we can support this initiative. See, why we are supporting the entrepreneurs. Today morning I told you that there is a news item in yesterday's newspaper. 60,000 people have been removed from the jobs from 3 companies, and 10 lakh people are going to be eliminated because of the automation. See, as long as job engine is moving fast in India with 1.5 billion population, all this 30-35 years, thanks to IT services industry, whether it's a diploma holder, 3rd class, 2nd class, they all got jobs. Most of them went to US. They're all now working in Wall Street and various other places. All that good run, gold run was all over. Now the complexities are coming. This many engineering colleges, this many private universities, they're all producing thousands and thousands of graduates, undergraduates every year. And existing people, as per the yesterday's report, they themselves are going to lose jobs. That number, 10 lakhs in 2 years, is not a small number. Then how India can bear, because unemployment rate with 1.5 billion population, more unemployed there on the roads, and every day you see Rasta Roko, Rail Roko, even existing GCC companies also. Why all this headache? For any IT company, it takes 1 week for them to relocate from one place to other place. See, most of the GCCs, they are on lease accommodation. Just another place, they will take a building with internet facilities and move the people or employ the people. So what will happen? As it is, in fact, people say that in Hyderabad, a lot of commercial buildings are empty. With this news of yesterday's news, if more people are going to be removed, at the same time, freelancing is now order of the day. As per the World Economic Report, now particularly after the COVID, everybody feels, happy to working from the home. So there is a depth of distance. Whether you are in Timbuktu or Hyderabad or Silicon Valley, doesn't matter. If you have internet access, you can do your job. If freelancing is on the rise, why people have to come and work in a building in Hyderabad or Bangalore for that matter? So that situation, that means you have to compete with world freelancers, not just Hyderabad freelancers or Bangalore freelancers. You have to fight with Czechoslovakia, Poland, Vietnam, all those countries. So unfortunately, in all these years, we have removed most of the engineering colleges. No civil engineering, no mechanical engineering, no metallurgy engineering, no aviation. Only ITES, and some IT related. Now IT is a tool. All the ChatGPT, generative, this thing, they can create all that software and all that. So where the jobs are going to come, that's where now we have to debate, and why startups are important at this point of time, because startups are going to work not in today's technology. They are going to work on tomorrow's technology, and they are going to solve the real problem. While solving the real problem, if somebody is there to handhold, give the funding, and also provide the market access, they will create jobs. They will create wealth for this nation. While other jobs are getting eliminated as per the World Economic Forum report, we have to create new jobs within the country. In fact, morning also I was telling, the rural India, there are so many problems yet to be addressed. All those problems are opportunities for startups. So that's where the opportunities today. Now I want my esteemed panelists to talk about in their own area, whether they are in the fintech area or agri-tech area, where are the opportunities for the startups, and how your organization or in individual capacity, how you are going to help the ecosystem to become more robust, because all of us have to work. This is not the problem of only myself or somebody else and all. This is the problem for entire India, all the responsible citizens of this great nation. We have to see that how we can solve this problem in a meaningful way, and we don't have much time. Tsunami is coming. If you wait, tsunami will just take all the people away. Afterwards, if you want to do any tinkering to rectify, I don't think we can do that. So still there's a time. So how is that, as a responsible citizen, how do we react to this current issues, global issues, which are going to be in India, and how we are going to make India as number one startup nation, creating the new jobs, creating the new wealth. With this, I'll request my panelists, Lakshmi, you can start.
I'm sitting here in the capacity of, I'm the head of engineering for Lloyds Bank. Lloyds is a very large UK bank, for those of you who are not aware of it. And they started up, right? Like you were saying as an example, they started up a large setup here in India, which clearly the tagline that we use is, we are late to the party, but not to the dance floor. So we want to be there and like really make it big. Like all the other fintechs, like the JP Morgans and the Wells Fargos of the world, we want to do that. To your point, sir, how can we do this? I can tell you one thing, we are massively hiring, right? Very, very big hiring spree. Do I get a lot of resumes? Yes, I do get a lot of resumes. Do I get like the quality I expect? Unfortunately, the answer is still no, right? And that is where I really look forward for this group of people to come up with innovative ideas, to have that level of in-depth knowledge. India, especially shockingly, has such a great knowledge in terms of fintech, product development, ideas. But end of the day, when I'm looking at a resume, when I need to hire people, I don't have the required skill set. I don't know what really happens. Probably it is they're getting lost in the system. I do not know that. That's one thing. Even the freshers, I think education system wise, I think that's a huge impact we can make. If we are able to mentor them there, they come with very theoretic knowledge, and a lot of times not even that. it gets very difficult for them to understand what is the complexity I'm talking about when I'm saying a product issue, for them to visualize it, right? I think this kind of goes back grassroots, not just engineering. I think it goes back to schooling and all of that. I think we need to place more emphasis on real time issues and more practical issues versus theoretic exam writing. I think we need to really get away from that aspect, is my personal opinion, right? That is something we've observed a lot.
I agree with you, Rashmi. We need disruptive reforms in the primary education, secondary education, also higher education. What NEP has done, they did some tinkering, but that tinkering is not going to help in this era of AI. The other important thing, Rashmi, I want to ask you. See, most of the startups, they are looking for business with GCC companies like yours, and you are working on cutting edge solutions. And since you are the engineering head for the Lloyds Bank, how a startup can approach you? What is the mechanism, and how ISF can interface that so that it's a win-win thing? They are going to solve your problem in a cost-effective way, and also there's an opportunity for the startup to get a business from you. How the interface can happen?
So the interface can happen with people like myself, definitely, right? We can create a forum. That is something that we are looking forward for. I'll give you an example. In fact, next week I'm hosting my business lead for enterprise like crime prevention. This person is responsible for entire bank's crime prevention system, right? In fact, we were looking forward to meeting some enterprise or local organizations, startup organizations who work in the risk areas. So because Lloyds tends to be a lot more inward-looking company, in the sense that we already, the threat is made, we are looking how to work on it, right? We are looking for outward-driven companies where they are trying to look at threat perception and trying to predict it ahead of time. I think we do that, but not as significantly. My point is, we have it in all the areas. It can start with people like me, and we can take it forward. And we always are looking forward to meeting more entrepreneurs in these, not necessarily this area, but a lot of, especially in the fintech.
Yeah, what I suggest, Rashmi, since many people are not aware of even Lloyds Bank, the Lloyds Bank is new to, so we can have one ISF event around Lloyds Bank. There probably you can give a presentation, what Lloyds Bank, what technologies you're working, what are the opportunity startups. We'll invite all our ISF startups who are in fintech, all of this thing. Maybe that interactive session we can have.
I was just asking.
Yeah, I'm new to this arena. For me, biomedical engineering is like now I see a lot of engineers are there, but I don't find real engineers. They are certificate holders, but there is no skills. Because everyone thinks that if I'm spending this much after completion of my engineering, how much I'm going to get. But he is not seeing what he is going to earn the knowledge. So real engineering skills are dying nowadays.
I totally agree with you. Already I mentioned, because most of the engineering colleges, except IT, they don't know anything, no domain knowledge. In fact, World Economic Forum report also says cross-domain skills is a must for any fellow to get a job in this current situation.
Sir, I'm one of the faculty member for AMTJ across 17 biomedical engineering. I'm one of the faculty member. I used to go and give a guest lecture. So private engineering also, they stop the biomedical engineering.
They are stopping all others other than IT.
No,
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, unfortunately, my domain area is hampered first because.
But I'll tell you, Armandrao, your domain area, there are a lot of opportunities for startups.
The point is that sir, because startup is there, but
no, we will work offline. There are a lot of opportunities in biomedical engineering for startups.
I'm a biomedical graduate myself, PhD in it, but I've chosen a different background, but I'm still using all the techniques that are into the biomedical engineering.
Thank you. Vishala, so I've been watching you as an entrepreneur for a very, very long time. Wherever you go, you really succeed in a very big way. Now I was told you are millet queen of India. So tell me, what are the opportunities in the millet and how you can create more jobs and more startups can be supported by your organization? Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. And that's a very big term. I don't accept it because the real millet queens are in the rural India. And the millet, as it is very small grain, as you know, and even the farmers who are growing millets are small and marginal farmers who have 1 to 3 acres land. And when they are not farming, they're actually agri labor. So by bringing this millet to the mainstream, you are not only solving the nutrition issue which the current, the country and the world is facing, and also climate change issue, but you will be able to contribute to these women who are in the villages. And I see that they are the only next hope left in the world to solve the climate change issues, to solve the nutrition issues, to solve any issue that we are facing today. But all that they want, I'm not talking about the startups, they are the startups we need to empower in the village. So what do they need in millet farming? How it used to happen is, like, if you see the seeding to feeding image, right? They are called seed captains. They used to keep like 30-40 varieties of the seeds. And then if you see the production level, they are the one who actively play in the farming. And then processing, most of the women are employed in the processing sector. And if you see the marketing, are the small entrepreneurs selling the millet root, like Kumari auntie story that all of you, how famous she has become. So even in the kind of, making the live food, because hyper processing is also not good for country. Like the plastic, we are one way we are talking about millets or like sustainable foods. And we have no other option of, serving like the live millet, which is more healthy. So you need more and more Kumari aunties in every streets making these rotis and making these porridges. And then even the food control, if you see, like they are the one who actually do the food control. So these are a very small and marginal farmers and agri labor who are playing an active role in millet across the value chain. So the startups, the middle part is solved because of, thanks to the International Year of Millets, a lot of startups like us who left very good jobs and then who are very enthusiastic, we came. So the middle part is solved. What has to be solved is the production level, because there is a huge problem of at the production level, access to machinery, access to capital, access to knowledge, and then the third level, which is consumer awareness level. So if we can solve these two problems, the women we are talking about, the empowering them, I think it will be solved, and we'll be able to solve lots of issues that we are facing today, providing livelihoods and all. So what we are doing, we are building a value chain, and we have introduced 40 plus millet products and also 200 plus craft products, because we call ourselves as a culture revival. I'm not talking about product. We have to revive the culture. Today we say that millet, it is good for you. Tomorrow we say you eat this so and so XYZ, it is good for you. But if the culture is retained, and then we can go long term. So we are reviving this culture and we are educating people. Now I've taken a very big mission of educating 1 million corporate workforce, because you told in the morning the kind of NCDs and the burden of NCDs and the corporate and Indian health sector. So how do we solve it? They're running away from millets. They see millets, they see it's a sick food. No, it's not fancy. So how do you make it very cool and sexy for them, right? So we are coming up with this decode millet, code and decode for the IT people. And our target is 150 companies in 8 cities. And silently, I have done 7 companies and 16,000 employees. And we made 2 companies already out of millets. So I need your help. I was asking Kavita Garu, what is the action after I get down from the stage? I need at least 10 people to talk 10 people and introduce my campaign. Then only I'll sit here, right? So the action is more important. So that is where I need your help also, sir. Thank you.
Amisha, thank you. See, what I noticed is, last time when I visited, there's an organization called Millet Research Center, Government of India in Hyderabad. Dayakar, I see. Yeah, IIMR, yes. So there I met one entrepreneur by name Lakshmi, and I was watching. We were there up to 7 o'clock in the evening, and she was alone doing everything, testing and getting all those things into production and all that. And she met me, sir. These are all the products already we were having, and I don't know how to market this thing. So how do we provide the marketing help for such a small entrepreneur? Because they are all very passionate. They are doing, and quality also. I've seen Dayakar also is telling very good quality and all that. But marketing, where we are failing them. How do we provide marketing help to all such enterprises?
So the answer is this only, sir. If 150 institutions, like for example S&P Global, I don't want to kind of bring this, they've adopted immediately. She herself came to one of the event and she saw, oh, millet cookies, it's very good. I want to introduce in my company. And she has taken for the entire India, they started sourcing. If 150 companies, everybody is having 20,000 employees, 30,000 employees, huge, numbers. And then if they can actually give startups like us a platform, it will be very easy. But do we have that access? I call a startup in millet space, if they are 5 crore rupees, if they have actually done business, they are unicorn. It is not easy. It is very tough to make to that 5 crore money. I am a unicorn within 3 years. So it is because of my talent and my creativity, I am able to create this kind of platforms. But not everybody is equipped to create this kind of platforms, right?
Maybe offline we will discuss. I have some formula. We will discuss.
So this campaign, if it is successful, I make sure 200 startups will survive. And they become unicorn.
I have all the IT links. I will work with you, see how we can. Dr. Mahesh, I know you have been working on products, though you are a biotechnology PhD from US, but you are doing something in agriculture. What are the innovations you are providing through your startups?
See, I started my entrepreneurship journey with an agri-tech company, and I started with a trading as my business initially. And I had to tell this. JA once came to my home and then he just said, "You guys being me, myself, and my wife, we were both the partners in our company, both PhDs in biomedical engineering and biotechnology." He said, "Being of this stature, you should think something very big." And then I started thinking we had to do an impactful agri-tech technology business. Then, of course, as we all say that prompt engineering is something that we have to do, and we know a lot of IT technologies are there in India, but not most of them. IT is being used in most of the sectors, but agriculture is being least utilized sector. Then we thought, why not we use IT in more agri sector? So what we thought is to inculcate these digital technologies to agriculture. We thought of getting a soil testing to the farmers within 5 minutes. Normally it takes 3 days, 4 days for them to get the soil testing. So that is like the first step what we try to do. Have the digital platform, within 5 minutes you get 95% accurate soil testing. And then it doesn't stop there. They got used to this platform and now they are using these platforms as their digital ledgers on day-to-day their farm activities. And this doesn't stop here. And then we started the traceability of the food product or the whatever products we're doing. Traceability is these days very, very important because at each and every step, what is going on, whether adulteration is going on, more pesticides are used, we need to trace it. For example, if you take a motherboard, any silicon this thing, you have the traceability, 100% traceability of each and every component. But do we have a traceability of the product what we are eating these days? No. And we have to develop that. And we are doing this at scale for the whole India that we are planning. Of course, we started very recently this kind of work. And we want to take this very deep across all farmers, viewers, agri-corporates in India.
How do you see the prospects for agri-tech sector for the startups?
See, these days, agri-tech and health tech are the two most important aspects because health and food are the basic needs for our life.
Which cannot be automated.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
Now I request Dr. Usha Garu, as a general manager at NABARD. They actually fund a lot of agri-tech startups. I visited one of their Ag Hub. A lot of startups were promoted through Ag Hub. It's totally funded by NABARD. Madam, tell me, what are the innovative things that you are looking at? Because India is primarily rural India is all agriculture based, but still we are rudimentary agricultural practices, and still you see committing suicides by farmers. All those things are still continuing. Still, we are not able to really provide a sustainable solution like the theme of this conference. Is there any way that NABARD can really work with the industry and work with the startup companies, create sustainable startups using your help, using the market opportunities. That will actually create more jobs. And also we are solving most of the rural agricultural problems. If you are able to identify the right companies, and if you are funding them, if you are providing the market access to them, that will be sustainable. I don't think government, state governments and central governments failed. They only doled out money, taxpayers' money for, I don't know to what extent they will utilize properly, but we need sustainable solutions in the rural area, particularly in the agri-tech sector. How NABARD is going to happen?
So NABARD, I don't know how many of you know about NABARD. NABARD is an apex organization. So our main functions are credit dispensation, development work, and supervision of our client banks. So the startup financing or startup support is part of our development work. So we, particularly for the startup, we so far we have supported 7 rural business incubation centers. NABARD, as the name suggests, we work for the people in agriculture and rural sectors. So basically, all our rural business incubation centers are related to agriculture and rural development. So across the country, we have 7 rural business incubation centers, through which, and before that, I would like to mention here very clearly that we don't directly deal with the startup or the entrepreneurs. So we work through various agencies. For example, if it is credit dispensation, it is through banks. If it is for infrastructure creation, it is through the state government. If it is for startups, it is through the research institutions and organizations like universities like that. So for startup incubation centers, I said rural incubation center. So we support creation and maintenance of this rural business incubation center, which are normally promoted or it is being run by the universities or the agencies, voluntary agencies or whatever, whoever is having the capability to set up such institution and run it. So in Telangana, we have 2 incubation centers, one in Akab University, Professor Jayasankar University, and one in NAM. That is idea and NAM together. We have supported this rural incubation center. Here, so far, 180 startups have been supported by these rural incubation centers. There they incubate the startups, and this after incubation, they will support them in setting up the startups. So we also support, like there is a concept in startup called the Depth Valley, right? Valley of Death. So we support such startups. For example, they have good idea, they have technology, but they are not able to come up or they are not able to break even. So such, but there is good prospect for supporting such startups. So we have a support called catalytic capital support that is also given through the incubation centers. So such prospective, those having a good potential for growth. So we support through this RBICS, this catalytic support, and we also have a subsidiary exclusively for financing or funding startups. So there, whatever I have so far said is purely grant support. There is no loan. But incubation centers, which I have been telling, it is grant support only, and all these startups should be in. Of course, we have many startups in all technology areas, but we concentrate mostly on the agriculture and rural sectors. So, and all these incubators, we also. I was talking about the venture capital fund, which is provided by our subsidiary. So that fund can be either through equity support or loan. Venture capital, equity support or loan. So that way also we are providing support to these startups. That is directly from our head office. It's a separate subsidiary of NABARD. Then we have all this after the incubation of these startups. Once they start their work in the agriculture field. So mostly we link with them with the farmer producer companies. So which she was mentioning about the millet. So in millet also we have done a lot of support. We have given support to the farmer producer companies. And NABARD also support farmer producer companies. Farmer producer companies are a group of farmers. They come together to work as a company. It is as good as any other company. Like for example, maybe it is comparable to Reliance company or whatever. So that company set up only their work. They come together. They work together, aggregate, value add and process market. So we have supported in Telangana. So far, we have supported more than 370 farmer producer companies, and we link or network these FPOs who are working in the startup ecosystem with the farmer producer companies, which Sir was also mentioning about farmer producer companies. All those technologies like IoT in agriculture or technological advancement or digitization of agriculture, all these things, whichever startup is ready to do. So that we
Madam,
connected.
Sorry to interrupt. Actually, recently when I visited one rural university called SK University in Anantapur, there they have got Atal Incubation Center. Most of the companies startup from incubator are all rural related, agri-tech and rural related. So there's so much of demand in India in the agriculture area, food processing area, and all that. So why not NABARD can go a little aggressively, particularly rural universities like SK University, where they already have Atal Incubation Center, but they don't have your ag hub kind of thing there. Maybe I think I see more rural entrepreneurs coming from such centers than from Hyderabad. I think you may have to think how you can expand your footprint into the rural India and set up more incubators there and see that all the benefits are passed on.
Yes, yes. Anybody, any university or research institute who have the capability to set up a rural incubation center can definitely they can approach NABARD. But only thing is they should have the wherewithal to set up the unit and run it effectively. So there should be research, and they have to incubate startups and they have to set up the startups. So, so that in short about startup ecosystem and more, over and above this, we also provide support for any innovations in agriculture and rural areas, not only through startup also, if a startup is having any idea for innovation in increasing the production, productivity, or in marketing, new technologies, whatever it is, if you have any idea that we have separate projects that we can support through grant support, good ideas, innovations. That also
is there any possibility that ISF can work with NABARD to run challenge competition so that we'll give some use cases and we'll have a challenge all over the country, and whoever comes up we'll give a good prize money for so that we'll get the innovative ideas.
Yes, NABARD is open to any innovative idea in
So Mahesh,
rural sector.
You start working on that.
So we can work together, we can discuss together, and we can come out with
So Mahesh,
the only thing is the idea should be good, implementable, and scalable.
Idea will be curated. I mean, all over the country will run.
Yes, yes, yes. Definitely, we are happy.
Oh, good. Yeah. So since already we have success story from NABARD, but we have to scale it up. Thanks, madam. We will offline. We'll have more discussions. So Dr. Nandur Srinivas, so you are from Napier. So how you are helping from your organization? Are you helping the startup ecosystem?
NIPER is a National Institute for Pharmaceutical Education and Research set up by the Government of India. And the Hyderabad Center started working in 2007 in the erstwhile IDPL R&D Center. So since the beginning, so the NIPER has been working on 4 major areas of the pharmaceutical importance. One is actually the manufacturing one. So it's something like API research. The second one is a formulation research. The third one is medical devices, and the fourth one is the drug discovery. So these are the 4 main areas where we have been focusing. And right from the beginning, the concept of NIPER has been to work with the industries. So that is why 50% of the faculty are drawn from the industry. So all the people who are 50% of the faculty are from having the industry experience, so that they will be able to give the courses in a way which is actually meant for them. And then, having said that, so we have been offering the master's courses and as well as the PhD courses, but always we have been striving to see if there are any startups who need our help.
Do you have your own incubator?
Yes.
How many startups are there?
So we started the BIRAC supported incubation center. So the 2000.
How many startups?
Now we have around 47 startups.
47 startups.
47 startups.
Very good.
And actually, like 15 or 20 of them already have been graduated this year. And then we are currently having close to 20 plus activities. And then actually we are planning to scale up in the next couple of years also.
You provide grants to them plus also market access, and also you provide the lab access.
The main access we have been giving is the lab access. We have been giving, and also all the facilities that I got that flow local to the incubators. They can work around with our students, and then they come to, and all the faculty are as a witness. And we are also helping them with grants. So we ourselves have generated. We have not started any grant of our own, but we have been helping them to get grants from the various.
Srinivas Garu, actually, most of the problems for startups is the market access. Once they have product and money, how they get the revenue, how they get the new customer. Are you helping using your tentacles, providing the market?
Yeah, so they actually this one, we have one advantage of having a master's course in business management. It's a MBA in pharmaceutical management. So there we have actually a large number of industry partners also who are coming and teaching us. And actually all these startups are also.
Can I suggest one thing? Suppose we have 100 industry partners. You bring them to a conference and ask each one of them what are the opportunities for startups in their companies. All your incubating companies will have interaction. They will get to know. Because most of the startup founders, it's very difficult for them to reach out to the CEO of a big company. That's where you have to provide the network.
Yes.
If you can do that, ISF can work with you,
Sure.
and that's our forte. Forte is network is the network.
Sure.
If you provide the network, then the rest will happen.
Yes.
So we'll work with you.
Yes.
Thanks a lot,
Thank you.
Doctor. So now I request Shravan Kumar, your CEO for a robotics startup. So can you tell about how you your journey as a startup founder and how you see opportunities for the startups in the robotics areas?
We are basically working on developing an AI-based assistant surgical robotic system that helps laparoscopic surgeons, especially in maneuvering the camera without relying on a human assistant. The robot can autonomously navigate itself based on the movements of the surgeon, and it eliminates the complexity in the surgical room. Basically, it started 5 years back. The research started 5 years back. Myself and my co-founder Pawan used to work in China for a surgical robotics startup there, and we have executed a project which operated on a patient 40 kilometers away, a kind of remote surgical platform. We have seen a lot of companies, medical devices companies working out of India, but the product doesn't belong to India. So 70% of the imports in India with regard to the medical devices is an imported device today, even as of today. So myself and Pawan, we thought that then the boom of Make in India is just taking a ramp at that point. So we have thought that why don't we start and do these concepts based out of India and give something to the country. So then we started our own startup. But initially we started with the same idea, but we juggled along with different concepts. So then we got the right mentorship from the first, I need to say, IIT Hyderabad Incubation Center.
You got incubated IIT
Yeah, we graduated. We have been pre-incubated and got Nidhi from there, and then we got the right mentorship. From there, our journey started. So we officially got registered in October 2022, and then we have been connected to one of the US incubation program called Nexus, Startup Nexus. So, and we are now currently a proud alumni from US Consulate, and then we are currently looking to ramp our current product. We also wanted to bring latest technologies in the biomedical devices, so kind of robotics. I wanted to be pioneer in that kind of technology in India, based out of India, and make India a self-reliant as per the vision of our leaders.
Excellent, Shravan. In fact, there's a lot of opportunities in healthcare. Whatever you mentioned, all the components are imported, and we don't have any made in India product. I think I am very happy to see that you have ventured into it. But only my request is you should be the champion and help other startups who are into that area. Why don't I propose you to be ISF head for healthcare.
I am very this I'll be privileged to be there.
Now we have a very interesting personality. She's into social initiative. She also comes from media house. Her daughter was a heroine, right? She's a heroine. Still, she's acting in many Telugu films and all that. So, how you can think of promoting startup entrepreneurship in the media or whatever the chosen field or social sector? Please go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm answering a very legendary personality. First of all, I'm a little nervous and I seem to be the odd person out because I'm the only one who is a non-technical and non-corporate person here, running an educational institution, a school, and connected with a lot of social initiatives. First thing, but I'm very much a part of ABWCI because I'm a woman entrepreneur, along with the Millet Queen. So instead of continuing with my government job, before that I started my profession as a lecturer in English. Then I got into Kendriya Vidyalaya. After working for 4 years, I somehow felt restless and I started my own school. That was 30 years ago. So that way I became an entrepreneur. And then I got into a lot of social initiatives also. I was the general secretary for Private Schools Association, where I involved in a lot of problem solutions, and I represented various memoranda to the government and all that, and we worked a lot. And I am a part of FICCI Flow Hyderabad, headed a lot of initiatives, and worked in the core committee also. I'm a part of Lions Club International. Now I am in the district governor's core committee. So I do a lot of social work, and I started Rihanna Social Initiatives Foundation 3 years ago. So I was the president for Lions Club of Hyderabad Petals, an all-women club. So I agreed to become the president in 2019, and the tenure actually started in 2020. You all know what 2020 was. So that was the most challenging times of COVID, and many of them thought I would withdraw. But I did not do that. I went ahead, and I think surprisingly I did a lot of work. So thank you, sir. And they asked me to continue, and I had another tenure post COVID. We got some donations of sewing machines from my ladies. They said it was one of the social service activities, and we were supposed to donate it to some ladies in the bastis and all. I felt, by giving away these sewing machines, we are not doing justice to actually the service that we are thinking of. I said, why don't we handhold them? Why don't we train them? Why don't we, empower them? So the committee said, fine, go ahead. So I engaged a trainer. For 1 year, we trained. 25 women signed up with Gaurangi, which is the unit, the name of the unit. And now, after 1 year of training, they started manufacturing. When we started manufacturing, sir, I needed money in the bank. I invested in heavy duty machines, and because they were skilled. Now, these women were people who came from, I don't say marginal backgrounds. They are people, women who are probably married early or who could not receive good education. They were not ready to do manual jobs, nor were they fit for white collar jobs. But they wanted to have respectable jobs. So they were very skilled, creative, and ready to do something in the flexible timings. I have seen a lot of such women, and they were very fast learners. They learned, and then this project Gaurangi started. Now, I needed something to support it. Rihanna Social Initiatives Foundation is an NGO which I registered in the Section 8 Companies Act, and it has a CSR certification. And, now 3 years are completed, and we can even seek foreign funds also. So, my NGO is supporting this Gaurangi, and we are actually ready for bulk orders. And sustainability is one thing we believe in. First thing is fabric itself is sustainable, and we are promoting only handlooms, cottons, and silks, which are natural fabrics. That way, we would like to help the weavers. So most of our products are made from handloom cloth. So we are making everything, right from bags to dinner mats, table runners, tea mats, all such creative things through fabric. Besides the usual kids' clothing and everything. 5 women are employed by me. 5 women are signed up who do freelancing. There are 2 masters also. We needed them for perfection in fineness in stitching. And still more women are waiting to be employed. So for that, there is need for funds. Now I call that as a startup. So this startup requires a lot of
Social impact startup.
Yes.
So what we can do, we have got upcoming big event in September. We will give you a free stall in our exhibition,
Yes.
so that all your company can exhibit the products, whatever the products.
So
All the decision makers will be coming. Most of the GCC company heads, they have a lot of money, CSR money, since you are eligible to get receive the CSR money. So those people will be attending. Apart from that, along with Vishal, you and Dr. Dina,
I'm Sangeeta Verma.
You work together, and we will approach one by one some of the GCC heads, how they can support through their companies these products, your food products, as well as whatever this thing. So one by one we'll try to this thing. Once it takes a shape, then I think everybody will start promoting. We'll start doing. In all our ISF, Mahesh, I'm telling you, we will distribute only the mementos coming from that NGO. The bags, we should use these bags, and that's why we are promoting their products. So you get in touch with him.
Thank you so much.
Not only here, wherever we go, we are going international. We're going to US, Jamaica, and all that. We'll distribute the mementos using only the bags coming from.
Thank you so much. And I have
We are
answer
confirming
for
your order, Dr.
your concerns, Sri Lakshmi. As a school educator, I would like to say that because of the bad trends in education, that is a lot of focus on science, engineering, you're losing that generation which received education like us. Like, we were free to do what we want to do. So now it is all parental pressure, which makes them choose only engineering, and
Yeah,
that is where
that's a very important topic which I wanted to, since you are in the various schools and all that. Today, the biggest problem is, I don't want to mention some of the names. When I visited one of the IITs, and I asked them how our Telugu people are faring in IIT. No, they're all sitting in the back benches. I asked them why. They are not able to understand the current pedagogy. Who are sitting in the front benches? Bihar students from Bihar, West Bengal, Orissa, but Telugu people are all sitting because they've gone through that monkified way of.
Yes.
This
Then
thing.
started from 2000 onwards,
So,
but I didn't succeed.
so this is a very, very important. In fact, there is a proverb in Telugu, Mokkai Vangandi, Manai Vangandi. The school level, but me and Dina, we are working on this thing. Today is all about entrepreneurship. Suppose you give a gamified company to 3-4 students in the school. It's a company. One is a CEO, one is a CTO, one is a this thing. They will understand what is marketing. They will understand what is the financial basics and all that this thing. So that their energies are not diverted to the wrong websites and all that this thing. Today, every student has got all the gadgets and they are very sharp. If we don't give the right kind of path, they will go to the other path. That is going to be disaster for the country. So I request Dina, please work with her how we can synthetic companies, how students can take those roles, and thereby we're promoting entrepreneurship early on. They will learn everything. YouTube, everything is there. Teachers are not required.
You said you are working with the women in handloom area. So if you can bring in more women in this handloom, and if you can bring them into a producer company, you know the producer company, no? Section 8 company. So if we can bring them into the form of a company, NABARD will be able to support you for that. Thank you. I'll work on that. Definitely.
Besides this, we also support senior citizens with medicines, and we also support education of girls, especially Ritu supports education of a few girls. So my NGO is doing a lot of other things.
So I would like to thank all my fellow panelists for wonderful insights.
Okay, so I'll tell you a truth. These people I keep on meeting here and there, and we have a lot of chit chats, and I don't know what to talk to them. Okay, because we keep on talking, and majorly that's our role, to talk to people. But what the topic is about innovation, and unfortunately, we don't have a very clear-cut definition of innovation. It's a very subjective matter. Everybody has their own definition of innovation. So I'll start with that question. That what is the definition of innovation for you? How you define innovation? Because we all work in the innovation management domain. Okay, so we'll start with Praveen. So Praveen, what's your definition of innovation? What have been your experience of innovation?
So, according to my perspective, innovation, which brings a new perspectives and creates through creation, and also the who are coming as an innovator should be able to capture his own market. He should know his who are his competitors. So where is the product stages at different levels. So they can understand all this perspective. Then he will be a good innovator in my opinion.
Innovation, well, starting with the textbook definition so that I can clear my mind also, is where desirability, feasibility, and viability interact. But that dumbing down, I also see innovation as a way of solving a problem in such a way that people will be buying the solution that is available through certain means. And also in that process, it's also important, in my opinion, to address what we call the latent needs. That is solving things that they did not expect from the solution, providing that value to them. So that is what I see as innovation. It need not really be hi-fi technology. It need not be a scalable solution. A lot of times that is why we have jugaad solutions. So innovation is what can sometimes make do stuff, but something that can solve real problem for real people in the way they like it, even if they did not know that beforehand.
So I think there's one professor called Bill Ole from MIT. So he came up with a simple mathematical equation, right? And the mathematical equation was innovation is equal to idea into commercialization. Okay. So too often, for example, if let's say there's something at TRL 3 or 4 or whatever, and it doesn't get to the market, right? It doesn't really, it's a great idea, but somehow has not made it to mainstream. So that's one way of it. So innovation is equal to idea and commercialization. As you notice, I have not repeated myself. One. Second, Sunday afternoon, must make it a little fun. Second, I think is there's another phrasing which is actually taken from a very different context. So there used to be a US Secretary of State, a chap called Donald Rumsfeld. So for those of us old enough to remember the Iraq War, 2000 something. So he came up with this framing called there are known problems, known solutions. There are known problems, there are unknown solutions. There are unknown problems, there are unknown solutions. Okay? So innovation really happens in the bottom two categories, which is problems which exist. We know these problems exist, but we haven't found solutions. And there are other things which we don't know. I'll give you an example of the last one. So let's say in the last 120 years, okay, thanks to, let's say, starting with the automobile, the aeroplane, whatever, a lot of things, a lot of innovations that happened, etc. It has also released a set of unintended consequences. We talk about climate change. Climate change was not required. No? Nobody was polluting anything. 120. There were only horse-driven carriages. So obviously, There was no pollution. So these two categories, which is problems, and when you break it up, you draw a grid. So that's what.
So now we know what innovation is. So the next question comes: what drives innovation? What actually, because you work in an academic center, we work in an academic center, and we talk a lot about okay, there are skills, there are education, everything is there, but still the innovation is not happening. What drives innovation? How to actually bring innovation in people's mind?
I think more important, I mean, I may have to twist the question then. More important than what drives innovation, in my opinion, is what actually stops innovation. Because, in my opinion, innovation is innate to every human being. I mean, we all, if we cannot breathe from the nose, we'll probably breathe from the mouth. So, no one needs to tell us that. It comes very naturally to us. Any new thing, if one thing doesn't work one way, we try a different thing. That comes very naturally to us. But what stops innovation is usually the world around us. In my opinion, also, at the risk of sounding wrong, I would even say experience stops innovation a lot of times, because we think certain things should work certain ways. The cognitive fixedness that this has to work this way and such. And also, of course, scalability, the lack of scalability of a solution. So I may work a solution for myself, but I cannot probably communicate it to someone else and or reproduce it with feasible, viable cost. So these probably can stop innovation, but innovation is automatically there, in my opinion, naturally existing in people and the society in general.
Professor साहब, थोड़ा TRL level क्या होता है? First.
So these technology readiness levels, these are the NASA defined parameters. For any type of product, there is a starting from TRL level 0 to 10. So that means from the ideation to the production and the product launch. The production starts at TRL level 9 and the product launch starts at 10. So where Tesla is a product level 10 stage. The driverless cars and all this, it's a TRL level 10 product. So what universities, academia stands there from ideation to the lab level. So TRL level 0 to 4 is the lab level. So the proof of concept is developed in the lab stage. And from TRL level 4 or 5, proof of concept to the production, which is 5 to 8, is between the ideation, reliability test, lot of QC tests has to be done between 5 and 8. So that's how the TRL levels are defined, and thus it is defined by the NASA actually, and we are adapting that same policy even for Indian ecosystem also.
Just as a fact, so TRL levels were defined by NASA for launching Apollo missions. So when they were doing Apollo missions, they were not sure when we are ready to launch a mission. So that's why they defined TRL levels, and they tried to calculate, okay, this technology, is it ready to be kept inside a ship and sent? So for that, they started doing this thing. So, but that became a standard across the world for technology readiness level, and now we, even in India, we are using the same. Yeah. So, MSR, you being the CEO of the world's largest innovation ecosystem, what do you think? What drives innovation?
Well, I'll start on the negative side. So I throw some numbers at you. In India, R&D budgets are 0.7% of GDP. Even small countries, small meaning both physical dimension wise, population wise, countries like Finland, Israel spend 3%, Korea spend 3 to 4%, we spend 0.7%. And when you take even that 0.7%, a lot of that comes from government, CSIR labs, etc. Private sector is not investing. That is one. So lack of capital is a deterrent to innovation. First. More importantly, I think there is a fundamental mindset issue we have. Right? There is a mindset problem we have. I think when Chaudhary Garu was talking about this factory model, where you take students, ragnify them till they get into IIT, that's it. After that, that guy says, okay, let me go outside. Okay, go to and work for some large global company and become $1. So I think there's a fundamental innovation mindset issue We are not teaching our children critical thinking, creative thinking. Without that, you cannot build innovation. So I'll give you one more example. I go to a lot of colleges, talk to a lot of people. So I have a few standard questions which I ask all students. I ask them, have you heard of UN SDG? And I kid you not. So yesterday I was in college, last week I was in college. And these are all engineering or MBA students. So I asked them, how many of you are aware of UN Social Development Goals? Okay. There are 17 of them, we all know that. I asked them, how many of you are aware of UN SDG? I get blank faces. Second, some hands go up. So I tell them, okay, please tell me at least 5. Then even the number of 5 hands will become 1. Okay. So I don't think we are equipping our future generations for what is to come.
So, do you mean is it a problem of exposure?
Mindset. So our education system is broken. It has to be fixed. See what happens. Think about this, right? Any young child, when the child is, let's say, 2-3 years old, plays with whatever. In developed markets they play with Lego. Here we play with something else. They all experiment. They play. But we stifle that creativity, that innovation, that experimentation. The pressure is focus on getting a degree, get a job, and go on. Nobody is talking about what can we do to make a difference. So I think we have to start there. The other thing which I think in India is a problem. See, somebody talked about Apollo. How many missions did they take to get Apollo right? Did the first trip go well? No, it didn't. How many people died when going to space? So as a society, we look down on failure. Even in entrepreneurship, Vishala will agree. If you fail, I believe it is better to try and fail than not to try at all. But whom do we celebrate? We celebrate those unicorn founders. Many of whom have not made a money or profit, burning VC's money, right? And building businesses. But we don't celebrate people who tried and so I think mindset is the single biggest barrier to innovation. The ability to allow people to take risks, give them freedom of choice, destigmatize failure are the biggest barriers to. So let's say when I was listening to her, what is this millet tea? It tastes like chalk. I mean, I've heard, I'm sure she's heard this.
I burned my hands in investing in a millet-based company in 2017. So that time India doesn't produce that much of millet. They were making some
So I think
products and
the biggest thing we have to do is encourage risk taking, destigmatize failure, and fix the education system. And then obviously you need capital. I mean, it's amazing. On the other hand, even with this 0.7%, some of the things we've been able to do is amazing. So, for example, I'll give you one example. Musk was supposed to come, right? Elon Musk. So we have a startup. I'm sure most of you know that startup. A company called Skyway. They've been able to get their rocket to go up in space the first time at a fraction of the cost of what Musk. So we are good at doing frugal innovation. We are also good at doing jugaad. Okay, but we have to figure out a way to formalize jugaad and make it more. Sorry.
But we still didn't got an answer. Yes.
When it comes to the entrepreneurship, according to our Indian education system, it is not included in our education system. But recently, some government initiative has been taken that after the PhD or during the master's program in Indian education system, the entrepreneurship also should be started parallelly. Then only the education system along with the startup ecosystem will grow jointly. what we have seen is an Indian PhD student coming from out of this 29 IITs, either they settle as a private engineering college faculty or a IIT faculty or any university faculty. But he doesn't have the ability to start a startup ecosystem there. So now the system is changing. Some of the premier institutes like BITS Pilani and all, they are starting the PhD programs with incorporation of this entrepreneurship program at the course level of the PhDs itself. In that way, a PhD graduate coming out of that particular institute will be able to start his own product development or a separate entity out of this college. So in that way, we need to modify slight changes in the education policy also.
I just want to add a couple of things. I think while I spoke on the negative aspects, but there are some green shoots. Right? So, for example, in the last budget, announced by Nirmala Sitharaman, they said we'll commit 100,000 crores, 1 lakh crores, and to be given over a long period of time interest for innovation. Right? So, obviously, the fine print is in the details. Hopefully, when the next budget comes, we'll see that. Because one of the challenges I have seen, and I think I saw Shravan here somewhere, here. Yeah, so one of the challenges for, particularly for startups which are solving, which are not, you know, like someone says I deliver something in 10 minutes. Okay, good. But, you know, is it a fundamental innovation? I don't think. It is. It is an incremental innovation. You're doing logistics better, you're doing sourcing better, and all of that. But someone who's saying I'll solve real problems. So I think that is a welcome move. The fact that they are saying we'll give you money at very low. We'll have to see how the execution and rollout will happen. The second thing is also in terms of, unfortunately, the VC ecosystem. Right? Again, while we're all very happy, I think Jay Garu keeps talking about unicorns. I have a difference of opinion on that. We'll talk about it offline. But so let's say 120 unicorns or whatever that number is, $145 billion of capital has come into the startup ecosystem in the last 10 years. A lot of that money has come from outside India. Right? The problem with the VC ecosystem, given the nature of the funds, so a fund typically has, say, a 7-year life or an 8-year life or whatever. The kind of, let's say, if you're doing a healthcare device, for example, just the whole process of from idea to clinical trial to certification, CE, FDA, blah blah, is a 3-4 year journey. Right? And so in terms of, because there's a lack of patient capital, okay, we are also not going to have what, for example, they were able to do with Stanford or something.
So Namaskar, on the same lines, I can give you a counter example. When we talk about Silicon Valley, and the whole thing came from there. They have a very mature system. Like India has only seen one cycle of investments. There is only one larger exit India had seen. That's Flipkart, and we can see how the whole exit of Flipkart introduced a lot of money in the market, a lot of confidence in the investors to put more money in the market. Whereas US have seen 3 or 4 such cycles. So that's why they now can have that kind of a patient capital and those kind of funds. And it is good that now the government can have that patience. Like as an individual investor, we are not that mature that we can have that kind of patient capital. But government can put in that. I think that is what the government is trying to do. That's a good move. But we have to accept it that we are in a very, very nascent stage of this whole startup ecosystem. Then what do you think? Is every innovator an entrepreneur or any entrepreneur an innovator? Or is there to be a clear-cut bifurcation?
I don't think the bifurcation is very clear, but there are two different entities where there is definitely considerable overlap is what I would say. But after seeing a few questions from the audience and also extending on what the panelists said, I am coming from the education sector, which is quote-unquote broken, like Kevin sir said. And part of what I'm going to say now is going to be my personal opinion, and part is probably going to say what Rigyan Jyoti is doing.
So we are going to have a big revelation. The disclaimer is came. Yes, please.
So I think we as a country have been a middle class run society right now, for the last 10 years at least. And that middle class mentality, even if someone is a crorepati, if they grew up middle class, they'll continue to have the middle class mentality, which has been, well, historically, even by Karl Marx, called bourgeois, which was a stoppage for all kinds of development. That is the middle class that we are talking about. They are by nature risk averse. And that, unfortunate or fortunate, we have now, the whole country is experiencing pretty much that, is what I see. And the education system is also kind of bolstering to it, where we are trying to only celebrate success, like Mr. Sir rightly pointed. The fear of failure is, I mean, we ensure that the education system definitely looks down on failures. And there is no way, I mean, I was actually asking Mr. Jayesh Ranjan in one of the panels earlier, that when he was the in charge VC of JNTU Hyderabad, I asked him, you are the principal secretary of IT and all, and also the in charge VC, so this is a good question. I'll not get into the answer part right now, but my question is still valid. My question is still valid. And that is, well, I teach entrepreneurship, I was teaching entrepreneurship at that time. We designed the syllabus in such a way that it can actually be conducted with students' ideas, pitching and a jury panel and such. But it was supposed to be a theory exam, according to the academics regulation that was already finalized by the university. So, how can I now ask, I mean, let my students be creative, come up there with their ideas, draw their canvases and everything. But then when they go and sit in the exam hall, they have to choose this or that question from unit 1 and then A or B questions from unit 2 and such. So this is where there is a large disconnect. How we teach and how we evaluate are two different things. And yeah, the unpopular opinion, purely personally mine, is today we have more of an examination system than an education system. We are ensuring that our examinations prepare people for jobs. And it actually, to me, at least as a teacher, unconventional as I am, I don't know why I should prepare students to meet the industry needs. I'm supposed to educate students so that they can grow, not because they have to fit into some jobs. And that is where I see a large disconnect again. So the jobs are already there, the companies are already there, and they need certain things to be done, so they need certain skills to be taught, and they'll tell us and we teach those. And again, of course, they fall short because that's not what exactly the industry wants, because, well, I started teaching 4 years ago and now the industry is something else. So there a lot of dynamics are coming into place, and students who could actually probably be better by themselves are kind of quote unquote ruined in the system. And this is where I also use the term creative courage with my students when I teach design thinking. I tell them, as kids, we probably, all of us here, we probably were courageous enough to draw an animal and convince people that it was a horse. It probably never looked like a horse, but we made people could tell that that is a horse. That creative courage is gone. We now keep put them in such a position where they keep second guessing themselves, if they are doing it right or wrong or what. So this is again adding to the risk averse nature that we actually directly or indirectly put on them. But like ma'am said, I would definitely say I'm glad there are parents like you, ma'am. Thank you, where you want to encourage your kids to explore entrepreneurship as a child. But again, today's generation, while I did a lot of blaming on the previous generations, today's generation is also influenced by people we don't even know, people they don't even know. We call them influencers. But they don't have qualifications, they don't have experience, they just have opinions which they can popularize because they have followers. And these people are influenced by that also, and they don't know what to do because they hear one thing from the teachers, one thing from the society, one thing from the parents, one thing from the social media, and they're not sure what they're doing at the end of the day. So we left this current generation, which is probably very powerful in its own sense, and well, the entire world looks at India because we have the majority youth population, and what we have as youth is people with a lot of questions, confused minds, whether they don't know whether they know the thing or not. So that quadrant where I don't know that I don't know part, right? So that is where I think a lot of confusion is happening, and at some point there should be parents like those who will actually encourage their kids to be risk taking, and there should also be institutions like, I totally agree with you, ma'am, where I was also proposing in my own institution, Vikyan Jyoti, that we conduct an open house, an R&D showcase, where it is important for us. I would again insist also for the larger audience out there looking at it online, it's important in my opinion to invite parents to such places, because that is where parents who think their kids are whiling away time in the college or probably not learning everything will really see how whatever little thing their kids have done is being celebrated, and they'll probably then understand why kids stay longer, why kids have to spend for components that they need to buy or whatever. So they also get to see the kids' peers, teachers, and everything. So this welcoming nature is also very important instead of closing down the systems, like ma'am rightly said. So I mean, I have taken a lot of time, so I'll probably leave it for the other panelists. Sorry.
Yeah. So, MSR, this is a tough question. So, you must be getting a lot. Your email is out in the public. So, you must be getting a lot of email. People say, like, my 8-year-old kid has built this thing. My college kid is doing this. Help him in becoming an entrepreneur. How do you say no to this?
First of all, we don't say no. First of all, we don't say no. Okay. Obviously, you can't deal with every request at an individual level, but we have a system, we have a team. We do a couple of things. We run what we call open house. So we do this on fortnightly on Thursdays. So we ask anyone who has an idea to come talk. Some of us, I can't obviously join every session, but my team is there. So they sit down, listen, and then if they think there's some merit in the idea, spend some more time. We also have a program we call Blitz. It's now a 45-day program. So, for example, the last cohort we launched last week, and we had about so lots of applications selected, got 20. The one thing I also wanted to add one more point to the innovation question. See, unlike many people, I don't think it's fair to assume that somebody who just comes out of college is cut out to be an entrepreneur. Right? And I'll tell you why. Because one is having technical capability and all that, but when you want to, going back to this thing, right? When you want to build a business, I think some points which both Jay Garu and Vishala spoke about, it's also about getting to the market. College doesn't teach you how to get to the market. So I think and if you look at most entrepreneurs everywhere, most successful businesses are built by people of some experience. So suppose you work for 5 years, 10 years. Right? So you understand there's a world beyond technology. Right? You also have to figure out how to build a team, how to raise money, how to spend it, all of those things. Right? So I think that's what makes for being a successful entrepreneur. So that's one part. So what we try and do is to say you come, you talk to people, you screen your ideas, and of course I get many ideas. Right? Some of them are super outlandish. I'll share one or two of them for you. One poor chap came all the way from Bombay to meet me and said, "Sir, I have this great idea which will change the world." I said, "Okay, tell me." So he said, "So we have this station in Bombay called VT, right? Victoria Terminus. Probably the busiest railway station in India. Close to, I think, a couple of million people go through it every day." So he said, "Sir, I have an idea. I will fit micro motors under open the floor, micrometers. People walk. So if you get kinetic energy, we use that to power VT, not just VT, we power all of Bombay." I said, "Wow." I said, "Can you please show me some evidence of how this is done? Take a small space." And so sadly I had to tell that guy, "Don't waste your life on this. Come up with great idea, but come up with practical intention." I'll give you one more idea. This has actually come from this happened a couple of days ago. This actually again come from colleges. Young kids, they are trying to figure out, so how do you recycle sanitary napkins? Good idea. So they have figured out how to do a few things, but they've been able to do it for say 30, 50, thing. But to do it at scale, you need equipment. Right? And they came to us and we run this Startup India seed fund, right? right? So they applied under that. So I said, great idea. The problem you are solving is real because that plastic will remain for 500 years and contaminate the soil and environment and all that. But what is the machine which you are going to do to be able to do this? Have you at least even conceptualized what that machine is? So obviously they haven't thought about it. So we said, fine, we'll get you, put you in touch with, we have keywords over there. So I think one of the challenges I find, and lots of times I get asked, why do startups fail? They fail for a variety of reasons. Founder incapacity, the market size is too small, kind of timing is an issue, lots of things. Right? But I think one fundamental reasons why they fail is because they haven't thought through the idea. You haven't found out why is there a need for what you're building. If there is a need for it, can you figure out how to monetize it? Who will pay for it? There's potentially a large number of consumers or businesses buying it. Are there 25 other, I can give you one more example. There are about now 6 or 7 ride-hailing apps which are going to come in Hyderabad. Everybody is saying ONDC is there. So with ONDC now I can get on. And everybody says, I'm trying to solve problems. Consumers are disappointed with surge pricing. Consumers are disappointed with cancellations. Drivers are unhappy because the ride-hailing companies are making disproportionate money. They don't get paid on time. I want to solve that problem. Good luck to you. Okay. And then they say, so people come up with this model where the driver pays say 25-30 rupees one time for a day. This challenge, you start looking at the math, the economics. So how do you run a large operation? How many people you require? It just doesn't stack up. So they don't think enough, or someone is not there to ask them questions. Why are you doing this? And simple question about why will you win?
So this is going to be probably my last question. So Praveen, we all talk about this thing, like in a larger company or even in a startup, product is just 10-15% of the company, and you work only with technology. Like you are the CEO of the largest technology innovation hub in the country, and probably the best one in the Asia for autonomous navigation. Right? So, what do you think? What technology innovation hubs like yours shall do to actually make this technology to see the day of the light of the day? Right? That's a bigger. So we always talk about translational research and like all that we talk about, but with TIH being established, how many TIH? I think 12-15 are there in the country, right? Or more than that. Exact number nobody knows, but there are more than 10-15 TIH established across the country, each one having a budget of almost
25 TIHs.
25
TIHs with a project funding of 3,200
crores have been just kept in to build this infrastructure on technology. But what has been done to make it or support translational technology? Because I see the last translational bigger technology we have seen was India Stack. Something like Aadhaar, FASTag, these are the translational technologies which actually changed the whole paradigm. So, what do you think what these TAs should do and how people can actually look at these technologies and build better products?
Yeah, yes. So, when it comes to the THAN, we are working on the autonomous navigation, both autonomous cars, autonomous drones, air taxis, even for surface and underwater vehicles also we are working with the different armed forces. So what we are doing is we are developing a technology, we are reaching up to technology TRL level 8 and all. We are developing at our controlled environments. When you want to deploy the same autonomous vehicles on the Indian road conditions, we don't have any policies. We don't have any government policies to implement this autonomous vehicle driving in Indian conditions.
So, by the way, I have ridden in an autonomous vehicle which he built. So
Yeah, that's what.
I have written, I think multiple times. Yeah, in our campus. Yeah, so from the main gate to my office, I go in his vehicle.
Yes,
Which is autonomous.
We have developed in Naval Dockyard, Visakhapatnam, even Lebas now, Missouri. For IAS training officers, we have given a technology demonstration to them also, to the new batch, phase 1 and phase 2 batches. But what we want to really deploy in Indian condition is the policy making. The policies is not there. If autonomous vehicle launched in Indian road condition, then entire your Indian Motor Vehicle Act should change. Your IT Information Act should change, because autonomous vehicle can be hacked by anyone. So your cyber security policies should come. So all these policy makers should address this question. So that's what this Bharat NCAP is coming. Bharat New Car Assessment Program. Generally, it's there in US and Europe. Euro NCAP. That's what the new car ratings are described. They do a number of testings and then they give car rating. But this system is not there in our Indian ecosystem. And even our Gadkari ji said, directly if I deploy autonomous vehicles, it creates a job creation problem. So, yeah, so THS like us, it is again one more hurdle for us, so that the research should not go into the another level. Yeah, now Tesla is bringing its own car plant in India. So if he gives an autonomous vehicle for at least 25 lakhs here, but where is the rules? Who owns the driver license? Whether it car owns or car owner owns that license? And what is the traffic police? Who will find? Who
will be fined?
Yeah. All this will be the policy making addressing.
Okay. And what in every panel discussion at the end I do is I ask panelists to ask questions to each other. And I'll tell you the reason. When जब बड़े लोग आपस में कॉल करते तो आपस में क्या बात करते हैं हमें नहीं पता हम छोटे लोग हैं. When Kiran sir will call MSR, what Kiran and MSR will talk, how will we get to know? So that is now the idea. Yes. So now, like Kiran will ask a question to MSR. MSR will ask a question to Praveen. Praveen will ask a question to.
Okay, Praveen, in terms of so maybe two questions. First is maybe a small education to the audience. What are the different levels of ADAS education? They should also go back with some gyan. One. Second is what you are doing in Ihan. How far are you away, at least from getting to, let's say, TRL 5 or 6?
The first question I will address on the ADAS level systems. Right now, whatever we are seeing, the vehicle safety systems like XUV 700 Mahindra or Audi or Volvo, safety features are there. So the ADAS is nothing but advanced driver assistance system. That's not fully autonomous vehicle. It is only aiding the driver to enhance its safety measures. So there is a difference between autonomous vehicle and a ADAS vehicle. So autonomy starts with 0, as per the Society of Automobile Engineers. So level 0 is nothing but where driver takes off all your brake, steering, gear, everything controls. So that's why they call it as a level 0. Okay, and up to level 5 is again a completely autonomous vehicle. You can sit at the back side and there is no driver in the front seat. You can read a newspaper and just say a location through voice command. It goes from Gachibowli to Vora, then it moves on. Okay, only you have to leisurely sit and you can work on. That is called a completely autonomous vehicle with connected features. Okay, and between level 1 where the automatic steering system, there the safety will incorporate into the vehicle. If a vehicle deviates your lane markings like dash lanes or continuous lane on the road, when your vehicle is deviating its lane, then it immediately alerts your driver that that vehicle is deviating a lane. So driver takes a corrective measure there. He again comes in, he holds the steering and brings the vehicle into the correct path. So in that way, the level 1 to level 3 driver will be there. So in all steering, brake, all this will be done in the level 3 completely like what is external actuators. You don't require your leg to operate brake, steering, or your hands or gear. It will be completely programmed inside your automobile. All there are ECUs. electronic engine control units or electronic control units we call. Your brake will have a separate ECU, your airbag will have a separate, and your air conditioning will have a separate ECUs. All these ECUs will be modified and programmed as per this ADAS levels. So in that way, level 1, level 2 to level 3 and 4 are the ADAS level features. So it does the automatic emergency braking. Whether it is a pedestrian, human being, or cattle on the road, or a speed bump, or a pothole, the vehicle will automatically detects and stops. Even it is a traffic sign of Indian or the traffic lights. So these are the ADAS level features coming into the vehicles. Already some XUV 700 autonomous emergency brake is completely enabled, and Tesla stands there, so a complete autonomous vehicle there. And we are also working in the Tihan IIT Hyderabad. The same thing, we have launched in our campus controlled environment. Ours is a 600 acres campus, and we are running these autonomous vehicles from last August 2023. So last 8 months we have not faced any incident happened to that. Okay, so that our algorithms are trying to Indian traffic data set and dynamic data set. Sometimes when the visitors or VIPs comes, even at the ministry level to the Tihan or IIT, they simply jump in front of the vehicle just to check that whether the vehicle is stopping or not. So we have such a fail-safe redundant system that vehicle will stop with respect to dynamic conditions, whether it is a buffalo or any cattle or a big truck or something. So that's why our TOT process, as the second question is there, we have developed this transfer of technologies to the many OEMs. Like LTTS is taking our technology and deploying it. Tata Technologies are deploying it. And also some of the Bangalore-based companies, we have seen mini vehicles. In most of the airports, used to commute the passengers in the like a shuttle kind of vehicles. So they want to take some of our Tihan technologies to the rail field deployments. So that's right. Not only this one, and we are also into the urban air mobility, like air taxi solutions also. So we have done some proof of concepts levels also. It is in the level of TRL level 6. And we are going to scale up also. We have done some NSF proposals also, sir, to National Science Foundation and USISTF, endowment fund also, both Indian and US. So US government is funding some up to some level, and we are developing that complete solution. Right now, even Indigo is planning an air taxi from Delhi to Gurgaon. Actual journey is 1 hour, but through this air taxis, it is only 7 minutes with a charge of 2,000 to 3,000 rupees. So this is a minimum level of helicopter. This multi-rotor air taxis are not IC engine based helicopters. These are electric motor. Yes, where our startup, our IT also works a lot on this kind of platform developments along with the industries also. So the congestion between the urban traffic cities will be reduced drastically both in air and ground vehicles also. It's completely autonomous. So.
Kiran, your question to us.
Yeah. Do you think innovation and entrepreneurship in Telangana can be decentralized and democratized to some extent? And is there anything that we can do as an academic incubator to partner or collaborate or help decentralize research?
We have 33 districts in Telangana. So today one issue which we have to definitely tackle is a lot of whatever is happening in Hyderabad. IIT, IKP, and so on. So I think if you ask me long term, see what is the difference between somebody in Hyderabad, Karimnagar, Mahbubnagar or us? Just access. That's it. There's nothing else. They are as smart, if not smarter. They may be more in touch with the ground reality of problems. What we have to figure out and obviously crack the code is how do you provide them access? How does an entrepreneur, so I'll give you one example. We have one amazing young entrepreneur who's 22 years old. His name is Ravi Kiran. So he runs an interesting company called Alien Innovations. So this fellow has been studied in a Navodaya school in Adilabad, then went to some college, and he's now doing a lot of work in assistive tech. So one thing which he's built, this is for people with visual impairment. So you use a stick. So what he's done is he's built a device. Not this. has a small button in front. So anyone, instead of carrying a walking stick, you can actually carry this in your hand. And obviously collision detection, collision avoidance, all of it's in this thing is done. Right? Now this fellow was discovered accidentally. When he was discovered, others also get discovered. So somewhere what happens is, some of them will fall through the cracks. So if you can figure a way out to minimize the falling through the cracks. See, a lot of young people have ideas. And they need some support, some guidance. So I think long term, hopefully, we'll see much more of this happening. And I know, for example, they have now come up with every year they do annually a startup ranking. This year they have changed some of the parameters. Actually, it's quite nicely done. And a lot of things they are now looking at is how are you making sure across a state. So, for example, see what's happened today. There's some other data point. 13 districts in India contribute 50% of our GDP. 13 districts. We have 730 districts. Okay. So obviously we know the districts. Hyderabad, Chennai, Bangalore, Coimbatore, Pune, Bombay. Right. So now for India to progress, it has to be beyond those 13. So policymakers are aware. Everything in India, things take time. Be optimistic, it will happen.
It's actually a general question. Why the West Coast startup ecosystem is very strong compared to East Coast, southern part of India? Like Gujarat
I
and
didn't realize that
Mumbai.
happened. Now I'm realizing that is there.
Yeah, why Gujarat, Mumbai?
I'm not sure why, but I think East Coast is more has been more. I mean, if I look at the states now and think now, which means the answer could be entirely wrong. But I think we were focused more on education, intellectuals being being academic and such, where the West Coast has been looking into business. I believe it has got some historical background also, where most of the trade was happening with the Middle East and Europe way back, also going back even before British era. And towards the east, we only had invasions towards the Southeast Asia. So that's probably why there were more businessmen on the west than on the east. And of course, there is also the Parsi population that came into India and settled in the west coast. That's probably the reason, in my opinion, if I think right now, at the top of my head.
And again, even in Telangana is getting prominent more, but not why not Kerala and Tamil Nadu and other parts?
So I think
Because we have MSR only.
No, I think all see again. So if you ask me, there's one state we can take as a role model for industrial development, all around uniform industrial development. That I should say this carefully, but it is Tamil Nadu. I'll tell you why. It is why because Tamil Nadu has Chennai, has Coimbatore, has Trichy, has Salem, has Tirupur, Madurai. So lots of hubs, textiles, automobiles, pumps, lots of things have happened. Much more uniform than any other state, not just in South India, across India.
Thank you, sir.
I'll stop before I say anything else which is controversial.
Okay, so with this we end the discussion. You have been a very lovely audience. Thanks a lot for all your time on a Sunday evening. Thanks a lot, everyone. Thank you.
To stay informed about the startup ecosystem, subscribe to My Startup TV.